really is, and we're asking for another tall order of Wolves. We keep talking about this run, how they've continued to stride from success to success. Obviously now coming up against another Goliath, as GB put it, in the form of Fnatic. And all eyes here for me, first half, go towards YU and Spring, their ability to really kind of mitigate this comp from Fnatic early on in the rounds. Try and carry that home. Obviously the Gen G scoreline does sit in the back of your mind.
Can't ignore it. But for Fnatic, they've been here before. They've felt these final stages, and they've thrived. The Wolves, new territory, and a new danger in the form of Kayak and Alpha, sliding into the site like it was nothing. Already a clear-cut approach for Fnatic as the plant's next.
Chronicle, waiting for Spring, expects, actually just missing him. Maybe now going to come back and recheck, but actually Spring shows himself. Chronicle wins out, gets himself a little upgrade as well.
Oh, God, and Kayak, he's on it today. Yeah, he's on it today. If he's going to be firing like that, Mike, the Wolves are going to have to be really answering back in kind, because, as said, when we talk about it, and the desk was kind of alluding to it as well, it's this comfort in high-pressure scenarios.
Very good there, very good.
So often, they know that feeling, and yet, look, they've had a moment out of the sun, right? They've not had the results they needed. Roster changes coming in, players coming in. They look all the stronger for it now.
Absolutely, and we're really talking about that.
Dotted IGL, no doubt.
Still here. The new members to complement that. Themselves on the board here. Start split. Almost rinse and repeat here. Going to really test this A-side hold once more. There's two pistols to bring in here for Boaster and Alpha, but
ये क्या घमक रहा है?
elsewhere. It's almost like a copy here of the same execute. Maybe something in the prep they've seen to potentially exploit. Straight away for the first buy round, we may be looking for an adjustment from Wolves.
And again, this is where we question depth when it comes to Wolves as well. When someone's really worked you out, how are you going to be able to adapt to that? How do you look at that?
I mean, it's rare to win a veto versus a team like Fnatic, to be honest. And then, obviously, prepping a short turnaround here in Toronto. That's the farming comes through. Kayak and crashes to find everything.
दो नए प्लेयर्स क्या ही अच्छे Fnatic के, खासकर एक किया जाए बढ़िया इनिशिएटर, वो तो पहले से ही था. क्रैसिस तो बहुत पहले से ही एक बहुत अच्छा प्लेयर है, ऑप्टिक में जब से था वो. एंड और ये कैच एक न्यू बंदा क्या ही खेलता है, बढ़िया गेम. रिज्यूम फैंटम, ओ भाई नेट्स की फैंटम.
Back to one of the ancient mantras for Fnatic, which is get that goat to Sunday, get Chronicle to the grand finals again.
Isolate and exterminate.
Oh my god, lineups. Chronicle का lineups कहाँ गिरने वाला है ये?
Only a pistol, but this one's big, 'cause it is the bonus now.
Mid.
And Lysa was unaware that someone slipped ahead.
पता भी नहीं है लाइजर को. आप फिर भी मार देते, ये चाइनीज प्लेयर का कोई भरोसा नहीं है, क्या नहीं सकते. Nice smoke.
3 members of Wolves dedicated towards A in the early round. Now, Fat BB on the rotate. I saw actually caught with a stun, but
good timing on the paranoid.
even though ये कहाँ ना देखते थे. Oh no, reveal हो गया, but Boaster.
And the site gets taken, really nice scaling up on that again.
Boaster ने किल ले लिया भाई, आना पड़ेगा Boaster.
Now 3 players from Wolves have to try and get back in.
Fnatic कुछ ज़्यादा अच्छा नहीं दिख रही, पहले इस टूर्नामेंट के स्टार्टिंग में उतना खास नजर नहीं आ रही थी. गेंजी से आ रही थी, फिर ऐसा नहीं लगा था. बट फिर भाई धीरे-धीरे लेवल अप होता गया. अब तो कुछ ज़्यादा लेवल अप हो रहा है, ऐसा लग रहा है. ऐसा फाइनल में ना हो जाए ज़्यादा लेवल अप, वरना तो गई बेचारी. क्या नाम है उनकी टीम का? पेपर एक्स. आर्ट क्रॉनिकल. ओह नो, इट क्रैशेस ओनली. नाइस. अब मैं Fnatic का सपोर्ट कर रहा हूँ, उसको भी सपोर्ट करो तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. बट उससे अगर जाएगी तो वो हार ही जाने वाली है पेपर एक्स से. तो और यू नो, बहुत सारे लोगों ने पेपर एक्स में पिकअप्स अच्छे खासे लगा रखे हैं, तो मैं ना पिकअप्स में पीछे रह जाऊंगा. तो अब ये है कि मेरे पिकम्स मैंने G2 को लास्ट में किया था, G2 फैनेटिक से हार गई। अगर G2 जीत जाती तो मेरे सारे पिकम्स सही जा सकते थे, बट G2 हार गई। तो मेरा काम अब यही बचता है कि मैं फैनेटिक को सपोर्ट करूं ताकि दूसरों को पॉइंट ना मिले, क्योंकि जब फैनेटिक जीती थी ना तो मैं टॉप 15 में था, टॉप 15 में रहा था। इट्स मीन यार कोई कुछ खास फैनेटिक को इन्होंने सपोर्ट नहीं करा है, ठीक है। इससे तो ये पता चल रहा है पेपर एक्स जीती तो मैं टॉप 40 से 50 रहे थे, इसमें पेपर एक्स पे लोगों ने लगाए थे बेट पिकअप्स में। तो इट्स मीन पेपर एक्स अगर जीतती तो दिक्कत हो जाएगी। गलत टाइमिंग, गलत टाइमिंग, बहुत गलत टाइमिंग यहाँ पे यूकाई की तरफ से। This is wrong timing. Think he can? No. Link safe, yeah.
From Fnatic. No real need for a hurry. Still 50 seconds. Quite pacey from Fnatic.
Just letting things slow down now.
I think Fnatic दोबारा से वो मिस्टेक नहीं करने वाली जो इन्होंने पहले किए थे। लेट प्लांट बहुत फ्री राउंड दिए थे। I mean ये पीक लेगा, एक किल लेना ले। बहुत बढ़िया गायक, बहुत बढ़िया गायक। गायक बहुत अच्छा प्लेयर है यार। I mean मेरे को लगता था यार डेरका चला गया था फैनेटिक परफॉर्म करेगी, बट मुझे इंटरनेशनल तक भी जाएगी, बट मुझे नहीं लगा था कि इंटरनेशनल में ज्यादा टिक पाएगी। बट इस बंदे का जब मैंने गेम प्ले देखा चेंजी के अगेंस्ट, damn, what a aim यार। ये रहा क्रॉनिकल, मास्टर बर्लिन का चैंपियन क्रॉनिकल। ओह नाइस, एल्फेयर क्या ही चलाता है भाई। कि मुझे ऐसा लगा ना फनाटिक जीतेगी। पेपर एक्स कितना भी वो हो, पनौती लगा रखी है ना पेपर एक्स पे किसी ने।
They haven't felt any resistance. Just to give you an update on the board, 9-1 for Kayak, 5-1 for Crashies, 4-1 for Kron. We haven't even needed Alpha, right? Which is a wild statement to say. He's been doing perfectly fine, they've been doing their job. But again, there's just not been any fight back. For Wolves, it's an early timeout. A cold start can just really bring the mood down. Got to get back in this one. Got to find some stability. Sufit BB's been doing the best he can, right? You're looking at probably the only one so far to really find a bit of resilience, but I need to see them maybe start taking some space here, start fighting back here, maybe challenge some of that A main control. Easier said than done. As said, Fnatic very composed in these sort of rounds, in these sort of games, in these sort of maps. So the Wolves,
सारे प्लेयर सोए हुए लग रहे हैं भाई इनके। और BO5 का मैच होगा ये।
Potentially one of the answers, maybe getting a little proactive.
Trap.
We know Wolves have liked to
Catch
go into that slower pace, and
This goes here.
I guess
Yeah, अच्छा।
particularly in the Paper X series, waiting for Paper X
ये
to step
भी
punishing those oversteps. Fnatic not really that sort of team. They read into
देखते हैं
it
ट्रैप में, मुझे नहीं लगता कि कोई इतना फंसेगा।
the control we've been seeing from Fnatic.
ओ अरे मैंने तो नोटिस नहीं किया, एल्फेयर भी वही खेल रहा ना, ड्यूलिस्ट।
If I'm honest, I think we can see it. It's patient, it's calm, it's slow and methodical, but it gets the job done. It's worked wonders to get them to this point, and we know they can kick it up a gear. Hell, I think all of us have seen what Alpha can do when the timing's right. Kayak, right? They have it there.
कायक कल्ट आ गया।
Play to the win cons, right? They want to play that percentage Valorant, and they're doing it. Kayak,
Okay.
the investment of the ult here, trailblazing away straight up through
Okay.
there. As a glance, should get a little bit of info.
Okay.
There's nothing on site.
Okay, nice.
It's the right decision from Wolves as well.
Oh nice, fake teleport भी प्लस। ये ट्रैप ढूंढ रहा है, बट ट्रैप यहाँ पे है ही नहीं। मैजिक ट्रैप है यहाँ पे, फंस गया ट्रैप पे। Oh nice वाइपर। फनाटिक के सपोर्ट में हूँ आज। स्टैंड फॉर फनाटिक। भाई G2 के सपोर्ट में था, G2 जीती नहीं यार। जी जाते मुझे पिकअप पॉइंट्स मिलते और मैं आगे भी। वो क्रैशिस तो आज पूरा मोड में लग रहा है। पोस्टर भी आजकल मारने लगा है भाई.
Go big, and it's Kron on the other side, the original Iceman himself. He is so calm.
चैंपियन प्लेयर है ये लोग.
Chronicle, the ultimate champion in these scenarios.
The streak continues.
Chronicle, Crashy,
Blood here in the retake, but
पोस्टर, कोटेड IGL.
the last line of defense for Fnatic delivering.
बस का एक न्यू प्लेयर है वो भी बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छी ड्यूलिस्ट है.
Fantastic work to
And Hellfire
take
भी.
contact here.
कोटेड राइफल मैन भाई वो.
I think Wolves kind of read into this, maybe a little bit of prep in terms of conceding the site here.
CO5 का मैप जाएगा ना तो उतना खुश नहीं होना चाहिए. पहला मैप जीता था.
Funds really to justify
मैच इतनी जल्दी नहीं खत्म होगा.
early set pieces, especially with the scoreline. It's full recovery mode for Wolves.
And again, this discipline that's been instilled into Wolves, or this kind of, I guess, conditioning over towards A, right? Like maybe this is not a bad idea in this sort of round to make a bit of a hazard of a guess, right? Push out, see what it looks like if we do try and play ahead of these walls. How's this going to look like if we do it in a rifle round? But now though, for Fnatic, it's just correct steps. It's a flawless beginning. I mean, yes, Sufat BB has been doing okay, right? Couple of kills here and there, but nothing that's threatened around.
No.
सेव कर रहे हैं बट ये क्या रहे हैं? Flank?
Probably gonna be Kron who hears this. Look at
Yeah,
the position.
yeah, there's going to be a ton of information. Yeah, I'm not sure they.
Okay, तो Sentinel नहीं है ना?
Now we'll find out
उसने
the score,
flank.
please.
You could just see him calling.
Sentinel हो या ना हो, Chronicle हर जगह है. ठीक है?
Walking on forward, Kron. This looks just too simple so far. And Alpha got
Oh, Alpha गए भाई. Oh, oh भाई
You
साहब.
need a couple more of those.
सिर्फ से.
As now you look at the reposition, it feels like we've switched sides.
That's no chance really of exits to be found here.
एक गन ही सेव हो रही है. कोई फायदा हुआ इस चीज का? सुसाइड को जाके ट्राई करना चाहिए सेकंड गन के. क्या?
Most hope on the buy round in the next that he'd look for a
नहीं
kill.
चाहिए भाई फाइट में तो यही कहूँगा. कोई
He
फायदा
might
नहीं
just
है.
settle for the rifle.
करना क्या है? क्या करना क्या चाहता है?
Spam comes through, Kayak not going to be caught.
नीचे?
Needs to escape nearly. Will be a
सेम क्यों किया था इसने?
for Fnatic. An ultimate stide to come online. So you see you Fat BB. I mean, Springs being the key one, really to slow down. I mean, right place, right time scenario, but he can stop Fnatic setting up. Maybe act as a deterrent towards one of these sites. Not been too much of an exploration towards mid. It's been Chronicle really as the complementary piece in that regard. So maybe an opportunity for Wolves there. They try and isolate him once more, but
Yeah.
Fnatic, again, they always love showing a lurk and then putting an extra 2 players behind it in the next few rounds.
Yeah, it's just like, are you sure you want to test that? Are you certain? It looked like there was a little set piece in mind there, or at least maybe a set beginning. As Wolves looking to brawl out a bit, right? Take control towards B main and release posture.
अरे यार फायर का हटाना वाला है.
It's hard to do that though when you're sat at 0 to 6, right? To feel confident, to feel bold to make these plays. But they have at least slowed down Fnatic's approach. But it's a different look here. There's 2-2-1 almost leaving again. Kron out on the lurk on A, but two players testing towards middle.
Showstopper online now for Alpha. Probably the main objective in the early round for Fnatic. Now we see 3 for Wolves grouped up here and doing exactly what I was talking about. Maybe
Like this.
an exploration towards mid here and a chance to get behind Fnatic.
It feels half-hearted though to an extent. I'd have loved to see a bit more behind that, but surely now, with that catching on minimum 3, they continue juicy.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Belter, brilliant on one, takes away Boaster. Big scalp to claim, and another confirmation of attendance.
अरे भाई अल्ट मारना चाहिए था इसके बाद.
Moving that, I think Fnatic.
चूसी को 3 से 4 ले सकता था.
Carry on through, Showstopper sent.
Beस्ट.
That's the response comes through.
कर प्लांट. वो वेट कर रहा है इस चीज का कर.
It's only out from the side, the rest still biding their time, and then look towards middle.
Oh no Kaya.
Closer, gonna catch one, and now.
एक फ्रंट एंट्री और एक मिड एंट्री गया. अरे इससे मत पंगा लो भाई राइफल में भाई.
Just
Pit हो गए,
elevating
pit गए.
again. Those mid looks coming out from Kayak, then lovely layering. So like
Chronicle के अगेंस्ट क्लच.
and 3 players.
एंड अल्फा जेयर के अगेंस्ट राइफल पे 1v1.
To more than double to get a shot at this.
दिक्कत है, दिक्कत है.
At least we put down to 2 here. Kayak got
काया को ले लिया है. अब दूसरे को लेके दिखाओ. अबे अल्ट मार दिया है इसके लिए.
Pick goes up, potentially to seal the deal on round 7.
I like that.
3,
On Lysor.
2,
Gotta find 2 more.
1.
Decides to go
GG's.
Paranoia on the right side. He has it in a guess. But for Alpha, it was all too easy. And again, even though there was a moment of danger there, Fnatic still had layers to call in, right?
So many contingencies, all things considered.
One enemy.
Even here, said there was a gap, there was no backline really for Fnatic. I think they were ready to commit ahead of. We'll see if Fat BB sending the nightfall through. Yes, Boaster falls, but like I said, those contingencies always in place. Maybe an extra body for Wolves there. Like I said, you really do want to see them try and isolate a player. We can see from the minimap it's possible, but come back to that same discussion. The ultimates, the finances, everything plays a part here. Now Fnatic looking to slow the tempo.
And Kaya hadn't slipped through like this until now, so Juicy completely unawares. Look at this tailor-made poison. Juicy should be sent to it. It was gorgeous, Mike.
What did you do? Juicy there, you just overwhelmed.
Oh my god, valification.
The C's lovely, every part of it. Just set up to win out. And they did this at about that minute mark, so they still have plenty of time to walk away, decide on a new look, because again, for Wolves, they've bitten on this, right? They pulled that rotate over towards A.
Toxin screen down.
Still got IU set up towards B, but it hasn't really paid off. They've not been in a position to punish these strips. The rotations come through. There will be bodies here for Wolves.
You are divided.
The divide will cut sound, cut sight lines as well.
Nice corner shots.
Lots of space for Fnatic. The Wolves. Dangerous, just try and walk back in. Oh dear.
Oh no!
Man.
ये याद है. Mind map against G2, Fade Butterfly.
But they're still not going to clear it comfortably.
फिर से ऐसा नहीं होगा, फिर से नहीं होगा. अरे इस बार दिक्कत में पड़ गई है Fnatic. बट इससे पंगा लेना पड़ेगा, वही तो दिक्कत है. इस बार इससे पंगा लेना पड़ेगा तो मैं अगेंस्ट पोस्टर यार ये जीत सकता है. स्प्रिंग जीत गया ये.
The shot in the dark here, the reload, we've been here before. Diffuse, does Boaster panic? The crowd roaring for it, and Boaster tested again. Spring though, down to the
नाइस पोस्टर. इस बार नहीं आ, इस बार कर दिया. भाई G2 क्यों हार गई मगर? G2 क्यों हार गई? G2 बकवास थी नहीं यार. ये किल मैटर किया बहुत ज्यादा. इसने शॉर्टी से लिया ना एक, वो मैटर कर गया. बोस्टर मार तो नहीं सकता, बट टाइम तो जरूर ले सकता है.
This has spiraled out of control for them.
certainly has.
There's remnants really. The Gen G scoreline once more, yes, asking for a comeback, but talk about the resilience of Wolves. They've shown it. They've shown they can play from behind.
I love you.
Who's Spencer?
Yeah, this is a scary predicament for Wolves, right? Because it does feel like, again, their earlier games, you're just on that momentum, feeling fantastic. Your players are hitting shots. As a Cinderella run.
We're in a very different situation now, though, where it's like best of 5, last chance to get to the grand finals. This is a very different climate for Wolves to try and thrive in.
And more experienced teams falter in these scenarios. Hell, you look at Heretics. Sorry to bring them back from the dead, but
देखो भाई, इस बार मेरे पिकअप सारे खराब चलेगा, तो अब मैं जो भी प्रेडिक्ट करूंगा वो सच होगा. ठीक है. तो देखो, उस वर्सेस फनाटिक. फनाटिक जीतेगी 3-1 से. ठीक है, नोट कर लेना. फनाटिक जीतेगी 3-1 से. एंड देन जो फाइनल होगा पेपर एक्स के अगेंस्ट, उसमें भी फनाटिक जीत जाएगी. और ये वुल्व्स वाला मैच 3-1 से ये जीत जाएंगे. ठीक है. और फायर साथ लॉक करने वाला है चेंबर ऑन आइसबॉक्स. मेरे को देखना पड़ेगा वो. मेरे को क्या सब देखेंगे वो.
Again, with this default, not expecting any sort of commitment too early on. Drawn an extra man already though. 4 bodies for Wolves. over on the A side of the map.
Yeah, but now they're doubting it as well, right? Is that it's so hard to have faith in what you're seeing. This is a double fake, and it's beautiful. Look what it's done.
Yeah.
You're watching a master at work, Mike.
And this is kind of that panic sort of play style where
Oh yeah.
everything they see. Kayak
ये राउंड जीत सकते हैं.
waiting to potentially catch somebody.
The ult's
rotating
going to give
offside.
it away.
Oops.
But they're not here.
Yeah, Fnatic probably didn't expect to have this much level of success. Now, the red carpet's rolled out, but they still need to cross with the spike. That is still an issue. I said they hesitated almost, maybe imagining there was more here. So now Wolves get the play back in.
Wolves तो kill Alfire अभी जिंदा है.
It's Alpha and Bose to hold on.
ठीक है तो ये बंदा जिंदा है तो
Spike not down,
match
20 seconds.
One off showstopper as well for Alpha.
जीते नहीं.
That could be
धोखे से मार दो 1v1 तो नहीं जीत पाओगे इससे.
There it is.
नहीं जीत पाओगे.
As hell.
गलती कर दिया इसने वहाँ पे मुंह पे. पोस्टर क्लच करेगा.
Poster! Can you charge him down? Oh my
Oh, he's faked it.
god. Yeah, Lysol's played him.
अरे लाइसोर.
Done in the end. Get calm.
अरे यार.
And he passed the test.
I mean, the
पोस्टर यार कितना बकवास खेलता है पोस्टर. कम ऑन यार इजी था वो.
Extra for that, you know, showstopper coming
पुश
in.
करना था भाई.
forces them out, but
पुश करना था प्लांट करा तो बहुत
keep a hold of the spray.
बहुत दिक्कत में था ये प्ले करते वक्त. आइजुल कैसे बन गया वो सोचने वाली बात है.
Past the flicks up. You can see
इसके पास सड़क भी था वो नोटिस करना चाहिए था ना इसको.
dancing back and forth.
अल्फायर कह रहा है बैठ जा.
You're told to sit down by Alpha. You don't want to get that man fired up.
अल्फा ऑलमोस्ट ले गया था ना पूरी टीम को. अल्फा पूरे कॉन्फिडेंस में.
Keeping it simple. All in.
Oh, nice 40 damage.
Both are still disconnected, but still viable. If we tested again though by Spring, and here we go. Alpha wants space, Mike, and this time.
Got sit down. Lol. Oh no, Wolves second round. Wolves का comeback. नजर आ रहा मुझे कि दोस्तों. मैंने जो बोला वो तो होगा ही. कर ले.
They'd need a mistake from Wolves to open that door of chance for Kron.
Save Chronicle, nice.
Look for potentially a flank coming through. And no confirmation, I guess, on everybody left standing on Wolves, but firm control of the spike. Chronicle, no way back into this round. I've got to say it, even with that scoreline, look at the funds behind this for Fnatic. This could be a real turning point here for Wolves.
Spot on. And a little belief goes a long way. For Wolves to try and make Fnatic feel human could be part of the task here.
Yeah.
To be able to remind yourselves, look, we took down Gen G.
Well,
you know, we've done great things.
To come back to that, it almost felt like the flip of the switch, really.
Yeah.
When Wolves got back into that game, well, that map, I should say.
वही तो दिक्कत है. G2 ने भी Gen G को हराया था.
I mean, this one's
But Fnatic ने फिर G2 को हराया.
chance to
इन्होंने भी Gen G को हराया था. Fnatic अब इनको हराई. Fnatic जारी है.
Yeah, happy to see a second on the board for Wolves, and an explosive fashion as well.
जीत भी रही है Fnatic इस बार का Masters.
Just not catching.
Great players.
See here, Alpha's even ready for that reveal to ping something on site.
Yep.
Fortunate turn of events, but Wolves pounce on the opportunity.
Again, these sort of things, these sort of moments, a lot of those fans really got behind CFAT BB as well, giving that speech, getting them back on that same page. But to be able to do damage to Fnatic is one thing, to take them out of a half is another. But they have timeouts to play with. First one they're going to be calling here, but also an opportunity for the Wolves coach to have a chat as well. So a bit of a double-edged sword at times, but
Yeah.
Fnatic wanting that check-in.
Sure, and maybe, again, we don't know if the comms will be complacency following up what could be considered a fumble
Yep.
in that round 9 loss. Still in a fantastic position regardless. Crashies with his ultimate. Kayak have his as well. Obviously the purchase, well, a purchase will be there. Fnatic do want to push all in here in round 11. It's not going to be an awful lot behind this, but a purchase regardless. Side of Wolves, nothing available, but Juicy CFAT BB being the closest. A chance to potentially see them in round 12. We'll see if there's any real adjustment here from Fnatic, and maybe what we've talked about, some mid-exploration here from Wolves and Kayak.
Kayak is filthy. Oh. And look at the tempo from this. Boaster's off. He's in vents.
He's got the spike, by the way.
Yes. Kayak, can you? Oh, it's fine apparently. Boaster gets away with daylight robbery. What has just happened?
भाई literally भाई काया अगर मारेगा तो हेड ही मारेगा.
Makes Fnatic look inhuman. YU is on A.
नहीं क्रॉनिकल लग जाएगा. पता था मुझे. गलती कर रहा था शायद.
Situations where Fnatic just seem to
वो एक्सेप्ट ना होगा दो. एक इनिशिएटर लिया बस इन्होंने भाई.
Wolves actually doubled down.
Initiated though, duelist those.
I mean, not much to do in that situation. If you spring, that's the sort of thing we've asked of Wolves.
Nice, nice.
They'll wait today. Again, in our hopes and prayers to a 9-3 half once more for Wolves here on Split.
Sees Paint Shell to begin things, get early control over B main. You're looking at middle though, right? There's a thought of it there with Juicy. But Fnatic biding their time. No hurry on this one. Maybe expecting a bit of that aggression. And Alpha comes out on top of that. So is there a reaction through middle? Juicy wanting to be involved, chomping at the bit here, Spring throwing all eyes towards him, pressure starting to mount. Right, closing in, and he has been a godsend for this squad. One of the higher performers throughout that regular season, and now into this, into Toronto. He has been wondrous to witness. In about the 50 seconds, no real player dropped yet. A mid-walk, that is audacious.
Wow, तुम तो देखो इनका.
He doesn't get it, but then Alpha, he bails him out, and then they look a little lost almost in the swing, but it's fine. 3v3. You got to see where they're heading. Nice shot as well. Look at the damage. Why come on, Kron! How are you allowed to do this?
On go dead Viper भाई.
The slip through Spring. Oh, okay, it's so diligent.
There's nowhere. There's no area to play in, no pocket to play out of. Sewn up, totally Chronicle in full control until then.
1 versus 1. No, 1 versus 2.
Give me a miracle. Show me what you can do. It's lovely, but does he expect it? Absolutely not. There's no escaping Fnatic right now at 10-2.
But not an absolute clinic.
Well, off khatam Fnatic is man.
Of contingency in Fnatic's game plan, and that gets said it even versus Gen G. A tall order to come back to, and an even worse scoreline, to be honest.
Yeah, they are big game players they're up against though, right? To face Fnatic in these sort of situations is incredibly hard. It's uphill by all accounts, and very few people understand what it's like to face a team like this. However, there are a couple of people in the building who know what it's like, and one of them is waiting in the wings with Yinzu. We're going to head over there right now.
Do I have a treat for you guys? I'm now joined by Tens and Kaide. They're in the building indeed. Welcome. First of all, Tens, we have an event in Canada. How exciting is that?
It's honestly amazing being able to attend an event that's in my home country. The crowd here has been fantastic, so just the vibes are immaculate.
I'm feeling the vibes, and I'm glad you mentioned the vibes because, Kaide, I saw a little video of you dapping up Sufat BV, living all of our dreams out here. What was that like meeting him?
Oh no, he's absolutely incredible. He has really good vibes. I feel like I'm low-key the curse right now though, because it's 10-2 at the moment, but I hope they can bring it back.
It's a best of 5. As you know, Tens, anything can happen in a best of 5. You've been here before. You've also had to watch some stressful games. I saw you in a Paper Rex jersey yesterday. Now, this question came specifically from our good friend, Van Silly. What is more stressful, watching Sen, watching Paper Rex, or watching Kaide's Game Changers games?
Oh my god. I'll just say all of them are stressful. They might be more stressful than playing, honestly. I think watching is really stressful.
Anything you want to add there, Kaide?
For me, personally, it was watching Sen. I don't really get nervous when I play, so I don't know.
Yeah, you're the go. You're the go for that reason. And lastly, there's a lot of crazy things happening on stage, players standing up, so on and so forth. I want to hear from you. Who is winning the vibe game today?
I think right now Boaster is because they're up 10-2, but I know Sufat's going to bring it back.
I also agree.
All right, let's see if they're right and send to the second half.
Can't help but love hearing from Tens there as well, and Kaide just ice cold. Feels no pressure, light work. All right, all good. And here, checking in on that Coinbase econ report, it is going to be a one-sided affair. You can kind of read it as you see it. No real surprises in that regard.
Painting the picture of some rough purchases to string together for Wolves, and no surprises really. I think we come back to a similar discussion we've had previously. This time around, it's YU that's kind of trailing behind a little bit. The second half, we're looking towards Juicy. He had a fantastic resurgence versus Gen G.
Yes.
Really, the pinnacle of that comeback. Spring showing some resilience already here in the first half, putting up some numbers, even at a 10-2 deficit. Goes without saying here, need to get this first round on the board.
Yeah, it is not even just a want, it is a need, a necessity if Wolves want a shot in this. Let's see how it looks at the very beginning. Already Fnatic looking to take control over towards Ram. And in exchange, Wolves eyeing up middle. So a slow and steady walk. Taking their time, but on the other side is Kron. Not going to outstay his welcome. Pressure now felt a little towards B main, so they've got a bit of a read here. Encouraging Fnatic to get moving.
I think as well, this might be the response to the slow default from Wolves. Immediately on the back of contact there, Fnatic are on the move.
Yeah. They've got sight, but not complete control. Fnatic still have a foot in the door, but Wolves, beautiful. Breaking it down, and Alpha's outgunned. Beautiful from Wolves. This is what the doctor ordered. Now Alpha and Crashy still with a lot of kit to play with and a bit of chip damage. Alpha. If there's anyone to be nasty, it would be him. Oh my God, don't you dare.
Got the reset.
Don't you dare. Another paint shell and another problem. A high-low he can't get out of. And Spring finding some of that form as Wolves need.
Surely asking for a few more on the back of that, but confident start here to the pistol. No hesitation on the way in. Happy to stand their ground, take these gunfights. Boaster, unfortunately, able to find one, make it a little easier for Crashies and Alpha to potentially clean up. First tick in the box for Wolves.
And they can't stop, Mike. They cannot
need to follow through here.
They've somehow got to keep Fnatic under their thumb the whole way through. Now, we know they can do this sort of thing. We've seen it, right? We've seen what they can do with a bit of momentum, a bit of belief. But it is going to be round by round, and it's a long road back. You can't have a kayak round against you. You can't have Alpha going off or Kron getting you 3 out of nowhere. None of that can be allowed to happen. So can they cross the T's, dot the I's? Can they truly stand shoulder to shoulder with some of the giants of Valorant?
And we know Fnatic have already shown that they can channel this sort of slow pacing. We saw it in the Sentinels game. This is something they're very, very well versed in. Already here, actually, look at the mini-map. Alpha's on the move. Crashy's actually falls ahead of the site here, but there's bodies here for Fnatic. So Bucky in the hands of Alpha, but he's on the flank. It's going to be difficult to get something going here, but an upgrade to a Ghost.
Yeah, the Ghost goes in hand. It's the 4 other weapons that are the big factor, right? They can't really afford to lose it. Good paranoia sets them up to succeed. Kron does draw blood.
30 seconds.
And he's
time here.
not really gets overwhelmed so fast. Paint shell from Alpha, still trying no. So 3 survive. Yes, they lose 1 weapon, Mike, but that's fine.
And scheme of things, to keep that ball rolling in terms of the finances. 3 Bulldogs carried across. Juicy's going to struggle potentially, but you can see Fnatic are desperate to get into sight, tuck themselves in, anticipating the regroup outside A. It's rough here as well for Alpha, actually. YU, a lick of HP. Steps ahead of the paint shell and finds the kill. But now the rifles are here for Fnatic. Juicy actually, he's a stinger here into round 3.
First signs of life toward middle. Slow presence from Spring over towards B main. That'll be Kayak on the other side. Boaster's eyes drawn away.
Here.
Focused towards what they can really see and feel. The C's and the paint shell don't catch as Kron slips away deeper.
Cutting through.
And hard to get a bit of a beat on this. Oh, Spring, the timing. Catches Boaster, but a good trade. But this spurs them on, Mike. It looks like they really want to head towards this B site.
In Alpha, desperately wanted to get outside of the smoke. He might have a big opportunity here. They're actually going to project to him.
Okay, Wolves are holding on now. Kayak is on the site. Do they then cancel on this? It looks like they want to try and spin through CT. Feeling bold in approach, but they can't get lost in the source here. Kayak getting curious, and he's going to land the shot on YU. That's a problem. Now they're starting to drift a little. 3v3, and Kayak still holding ground. The immovable object. 3 kills in the round, could be on for the ace if he keeps going like this, but dealt with. Juicy unlocks that B site. Now the plant is on the cards.
Still got utility here for Crashies as well. Kron, we saw him burn up the snake bite. They are grouped as 2 going to try and sweep through. See if BB going to be called upon in front of first.
He's to back away, and he's done it well. No trade available for Kron there. Has to wait this out now. Maybe a good idea of where both players are, but this crossfire is strong. Juicy, eyes up towards heaven. I thought he'd hold this with him. It's still solid. See if BB plays it well. Waited, and now stands. The scoreline now not looking impossible. At 5-10, Mike. We might be starting to get a bit of a game here.
Mimicking the first half, the bonus conversion. Rough timing here for Boaster, I think. Just trying to slip a little deeper. The trade comes through, sure, but it's really what gives Wolves something to pin their hope to towards B site. A 3-round string, actually. Something else to pin their hopes to.
Shadows.
Then hard work already really done. Get themselves on the board.
Go get him.
Start establishing themselves in terms of the finances. Again, this first ult cycle. Well, yeah, CUFAT BB probably going to be the first influential ultimate available to them, but not quite yet.
It's very all in so far, isn't it? At least in this round. Boaster, oh, he's found a cubby, he's found a corner. Has he found an opportunity? The Bucky rattles off. Does well on one, but he can't get the follow-up. The site now not fully in control and the spike hindered. The Prowler being sent up towards ramp finds nothing but Alpha waits. The flank eventuality coming in as well. Slow and steady. They have to try and keep them at bay here.
Spring's looking for it, and whether there's going to be anything else to draw his attention. But Kayak will fall.
Spotting out Kron as well. They now know one towards CT. They've seen Alpha flying through the air. Dealt with, done for. Wolves are back at the door. 6 rounds looking very likely. Ladies and gents, the Wolves are here. Doing the dance right back to Boaster. We've got a showman on our hands, and Fnatic should be furious about this.
It's just, I mean, he talks about thriving in this sort of scenario. They really come alive when playing from behind. Fnatic will be forced to take a timeout here. It's the operator in hand here for Kayak.
Oh, I'm a happy bunny, Michael. I'm a happy bunny because we actually might get Fnatic pushed here. Because, look, we all like good Valorant. We want a close game. We didn't want to see Wolves go out with a whimper, get lost in the depth of a best-of-5 and fall short against, you know, one of the greats that there is. Right now, though, they're showing why they made it this far. They're showing that vibe. Cameraman's got an easy job these days, huh?
Yeah, the content delivering non-stop in Toronto.
But you are seeing one adjustment here. Well, at least we are. Operator for Kayak. And it doesn't feel like Fnatic looks stressed yet, Mike, but they've got to start feeling that this game is not as easy as maybe it felt on that first.
As well, the concern being another round I mean, especially now when you're getting battered like this 4 in a row, it's tough to really then find a follow-up, to be honest. We're talking about the same thing that Wolves had to deal with. You can't really establish the economy, build up that cushion. Wolves have shown they're happy to tap into pacier XX, but I mean, this being a perfect example now, way ahead of the curve in terms of what Wolves attack in half.
And Alpha can't really avoid it. He's now been hit by that same pressure that was put down towards Crashies initially. He tried to thread the needle, but the layering was great. So Juicy rewarded. Now Fnatic once again held back. The plant should be next on the cards. Ult-wise, they have nothing here to bank on if you're Fnatic. Gonna keep their heads down. Precarious at the best of times. But the plant's in and the time's on their side.
Look at YU towards mid as well. He's just waiting for contact to come through on site. Chronicle guarding it for the time being, but I don't think he's going to find him.
Boaster strides in, kicks down the door. He finds it there off the free, but the trade's good. The look's even better. The Wolves are here, baby, and Kayak really wants to keep that operator. A prized possession, and they've shown real good looks on that side take.
And it's Alpha ahead of these smokes. There's nobody else there to really back him up. Maybe not reading that the full brunt of this execute's coming through main, but I can't help but think it kind of goes against the ethos of an operator coming in here. You don't necessarily want players exposed, isolated like this. It being Alpha in particular as well. Beautiful reveal as well.
Give me fist pump, boys.
It's like I said, with players like YU in Spring, if you give up that first blood and a man advantage, somebody will tuck in. They will not be moving until it gets chaotic on site. And YU demonstrating just that.
They have absolutely iced out Fnatic here. Now, if they can note the operator, if they can spot where that's kind of committed to early, that'd be incredibly valuable. And deep contact on the Prowler may feel indicative that someone's been pushed up towards B main.
Again, if you're Fnatic, you don't necessarily want to show it too early. Basically put Wolves in charge of the information game, but Kayak, desperate to make something work. Walks into the waiting arms of Spring.
Wolves can play this game.
I know exactly where you are.
Good info on the ult as well. Juicy looking to outdo Kron there on the jump spot, but going to keep his life. Not alone in that mid-walk too either. It's a 3-2 split as it stands, looking to maybe adjust that now. So they want to take towards that B site. Once again, rinse, repeat, it works. But Alpha, excuse me, you've got an operator. Excuse me, Alpha, you have an operator. One is not enough to deny this. And you look at what remains, it's Stingers. Hard to make work if they keep them at arm's length.
Get into the site here, maybe cause some issues, but doesn't look like. I mean, Chronicles just now trying to dig out the late lurk, but we can see Spring and YU, the prime candidates for such a role. This time, up in the front lines. Chance here, potentially, I mean, with the setup for Fnatic to find an exit, but you've already said it, they need to close the gap, really. I mean, the smoke. Can get in, crashes. Daylight robbery here for the operator.
Oh, no! There's no way that you nearly went down there. Kron's like, get down, President.
Yeah,
get down, Mr. President, I've got your life. Neuer's here. It's all good. But still, they keep the operator. But it feels like the poison chalice almost, right? It's just like, who's going to fall with it now? But look at that string of rounds. That's 6 in a row. You know, when we outline the way to get back into these one-sided games, you don't really expect it to happen. When we say it's a mountain to climb, you don't really think they're going to be mountaineers, right? You don't expect them to be sherpering their way up that hill, but as it stands, they're 2 away from tying this up, and then it becomes real. Then I'm on board. We have to see what this ult cycle's looking like, though, because Fnatic are very close to having the full hand, and they want Kayak in on this. Fnatic trying to make it hurt, but Kron's already gone down. Juicy doing well here. This is lovely stuff from them. And no chance for that operator to really sing.
Early advantage created here. Wolves Again, this plays into their hands, allows them to slow the pace, garner some control across the map, and they already know they've created a gap in the defenses. Fnatic spread a little thin here, but Kayak,
Portal closed.
he's the... Where's this actually headed? This potentially...
No, no way. You got this? Even the observer's getting excited.
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
But again, this won't be the first time the Kayak's played this sort of position. But he's done really well there. Nice shot and gets out of it.
I don't like the peek ahead of the ult, but...
Yeah, relax. That's 2 ults now invested. One just to even up that initial trade, and this one, I don't think he's going to find a target. No. So again, they burnt 2 ults in this. If anything, that's an effective trade, and they are instantly rotating towards A.
And they're ahead of the rotation of Fnatic as well.
And Spring going for a lurk, I like that. But Boaster heads up about it, smart. Good read from Boaster there. But they still have this A site looking very good. Crashy's keeping himself somewhat hidden here. 14 seconds as well. He could be the one to change the outcome of this round if he plays it just right. Boaster trying to keep all eyes on him, but the attention now turns. Crashies can't find the player on the plant, but he does take away CFAT BB. Now down to a 2v4, it's unlikely. Why are you looking calm? But it's going to be handled, surely. Surely, there it is. Alpha dives in. They're going to make it back up now. Finally breaking in the second half.
Unlucky here for Wolves to, again, an opportunity to isolate Crashies here. I don't want to really say a misread of the map because they're able to navigate way around effectively. Actually, Alpha finding Lysol just ahead of getting out of the smoke. Could argue Spring, that's where you really want to see him tuck in and do once more what we've seen YU employ. Like I said, they were in a position to capitalize on Fnatic being out of position. See if this continues now. Fnatic, 1 on the board for the second half. Operator still here. A couple of ultimates come online as well, the 2 being the divide and the pit here. Juicy, speaking of ultimates. Showstopper. Oh, Slicer. What?
Wow, how is Crashies alive?
Show me another perspective of that.
I don't get it. Because that looked teed up, right? That looked spot on.
Cosmetic rocket, apparently.
Didn't buy the DLC, so YU now trying to slowly work his way up middle, but this is difficult, right? They're looking for that opportunity. Can Spring maybe give them one? Trying to slip across here, but there's danger to be had. A deep hold from Fnatic going to make them have to really search far. Double stack towards CT. The site is clear. It's almost lulling them into this false sense of security.
Now this is better for Fnatic. They're waiting for Wolves to hit a side. Nobody overstepping the mark just yet. YU removed. Alpha next up here. Next line of defense and delivers. Lysol will fall.
And again, this grip towards CT is in play. They know about the players in middle. They don't know there's still 2 waiting patiently. The Bulls did want to try and get ahead and maybe get a pick on their side. So we're looking at CFAT BB and Spring to do what the others couldn't. But a 2v5 is not easy. And the ult wanted. Spring wants something on their side. There's the counter though. Doesn't get dodged either. Spring is in trouble. Trying to layer up that utility, but Alpha flies in from above, drops it down. It looks too simple for Fnatic to claim that 12.
Can't fault them for investing the pit here. Desperate to try and recover what's...
Huh? I don't know if we should. The devs are in the building.
Yeah.
Dan?
Can we get that clip to...
Dan's hiding in the loud. I mean,
this...
God, he just knows it, doesn't he? Stunning work. And again, it's one thing to get close to the likes of Fnatic. It is another to best them. But they're not done yet, Wolves. There's still a bye here. There's still rounds to be played.
Still an operator here for Juicy. See Kayak still has one of his own. But map point now for Fnatic. Pick goes up early. Alpha and Kron will play inside this. Oh, to be careful there though. I mean, looking for Kron, and it's Alpha catching a stray or 2. But now we'll tuck in Bosa's got the divide here as well, so another good defensive ultimate.
Them down.
The gauntlet laid out in front of Wolves. Oh, Alpha though, way ahead of the mark once more, trying to find something, but Kayak evens the odds.
Yeah, I love that reaction from Kayak to take space back on the other side of the map. And now it feels very indicative of this hit towards the side. Boaster going to struggle to stay alive. Does the best he can. How did he get to without BB in that? I do not know. But Juicy still holding on here. Doesn't want to give this up yet, but look at Crash's position, Mike. That could be the checkmate. It makes me nervous. Are you going to even consider it at this point? Juicy might be. Does he think this is still happening? So much util as well. Oh my God, Juicy couldn't deal with it in time. And now they're herded on the site. Kayak closing in as well. Prowler posted, shot, missed, and an opportunity gained as Crashy's called upon. He can't do it, and Wolves stay alive.
Beautiful recovery here. And finding Alpha. Alpha desperate to try and attack the back line of Wolves. Maybe to still find success towards site. I mean, how Boaster gets that kill? That what even? Oh well, yeah.
One of those.
Spike down.
That's rough. But Juicy. Again, he was the person we were talking about in terms of resilience, in terms of his ability to bounce back previously. Ooh, he's the one to open up. Round 21 for Wolves. Still 3 rounds separate them.
Oh, but this just feels nasty with Alpha here. And Boaster, how's he done this again? And they have no idea. Doesn't wait. He wants this done. For Alpha, instantly posts his ult as well in a 4v3. And they've been stalled out now.
Boaster falling though. I guess Wolves now, they don't have to run that utility gauntlet. Why are you tucked up again? Expect him to wait for contact. Kayak still committed over towards side A, and Crashes actually digs it out nice and early.
Yeah, the Prowler was just fantastic. And now Alpha feeling unfazed by the presence. A high-low setup. He gets cleared on one, but down to the talisman for this side for Wolves. He can't do it. Chronicle closes the account. It's map 1 done. Wolves still showing they are deadly, Mike.
Absolutely. Asking for another comeback once more. It's just not there. Fnatic able to stabilize here on split.
Certainly are. 13-9, a decent score, but a best of 5. We'll find out how this goes after the break.
Let's stupefy him so he doesn't stand up like that little NPC. Stupefy! Spring, everyone.
Hold on, wait. I'm disappointed. Sorry.
What? Stupefy! And then Silpat BB getting a double one for me. And the feet. Stupefy!
I don't really like committing to things. I'm scared. But when Verizon announced that I could lock in a low price for 3 years, I mean, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Can you hear me now?
Do it again. Watch me win. Then watch me do it again.
Hey.
Let me show you how the folks does.
Oh man, I was just getting warmed up.
Spike defused.
Blink your eyes, one for yes, two for no. It seems like you're ready to see what I saw. He said, she said, I'm the target, the bullet in the gun. It is now like an electric dance between shots and blood numbers. Don't fool them twice if you still wanna be part of the members.
Fnatic draw first blood in this lower bracket final. I'm now joined by their head coach, Milan. Now, this could have been a very dominant map, but what happened on that defense side?
I think it's just a different Viper setup. The spring is lurking really well, and I think we kind of struggled to adapt to it a little bit. Even after the timeouts, I don't think we had a super great idea on how to counter it, but in the end, the boys pulled through, so I'm really happy with that.
Thank you for your insight. Good luck on map 2.
It was all about the attack on split because we were seeing round after round go for Fnatic, and then when we flipped sides, it was round after round going for the Wolves. What a way to start things off here, but of course this brings us to our Verizon high-speed moment. And we're going to start this off with Kayak because, well, Kayak's just doing Kayak things here, Bea. An absolute beast.
As you said, it's everything about the attack, and Kayak started off super strong on this map, getting a lot of openers and being an absolute nuisance to go up against. against if you were on the side of Wolves. 10-2 for that side. And if Kayak is having one of those days alongside Alpha and Chronicle, it's going to be a difficult one for the Wolves.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he had a bit of a slow beginning yesterday on Split. This time came out of the gates instantly. I think it was 12-3 to begin, something ridiculous like that. I do think, though, just that coach interview with Milan where he was talking about, listen, we actually didn't have a great idea of how to shut that down on the defense.
Yeah.
But the individual player impact ended up pulling them through what ended up being quite a close game.
Yeah, it is interesting because the Wolves are completely asleep. They lost the first 8 rounds in a row. I think they were making some like pretty simple mistakes, not trading each other, looking like they couldn't really figure out what to change up. But once they got that energy in the second half, it was the same win conditions we've been talking about for the Wolves all tournament long, but which is how rough that first half was. There just wasn't time to get back into Split.
And so many times it's just Spring and the plays that he can make. The wall that he was using on B was such a massive problem. But it all started with this crazy round number 9. We're just screaming, please do not peek. He doesn't have time. He ends up ulting out of it and just strikes the post.
But I think the silliness of this round kind of broke the mental barrier that was up for Wolves, where they felt like they were the worst team. I think they looked nervous, they looked like they didn't really have a game plan, and I think at that point they started to believe that they could win. It's rough though that they started on Split, because that's a really good map for them, but they kind of wasted the first 8 rounds being nervous.
And it sounds stupid to say, but I think one of the indexes of how good Wolves is playing in a map is how silly they are on stage and what Sufat Baby is doing. And once they won that bonus round, once they got back into it, he's hitting the L dance back at post, or he's doing all this stuff that they've been doing to all tournament to kind of play up to the crowd. And I think that's super critical in a game like this, to not overthink it, to keep the underdog mentality and just chill out. Hey, it's another game. Don't get stressed out by a BO5.
Always good to see the trademark Lysor stand and stare. You love to see it, kids. That being said, let's go to the coach of the Wolves and hear what he has to say.
Now joined by Coach Fade ahead of map 2. You guys showed so much resilience on map 1. You probably could have closed it out if the first half wasn't so skewed. So how do you make sure your boys don't go into Icebox as cold as they did on Split?
I think we gave them too much respect, like in terms of their calling and map control. So now we're gonna fight back. Get ready, Fnatic.
Oh, I can't wait to see it. Thank you very much.
All right, he said that they were giving him too much respect. And while we did see that they were starting to gain that confidence, Bale, round after round after round. But now we get ready for Icebox, a great opportunity for the Wolves to answer back.
Yeah, exactly. They decided to go for this map. We've seen them playing in the tournament, and the idea for both of the teams is a bit different, right? Wolves, they've showed how they put that Gecko out. I want to see if they repeat that composition, and if we're going to see that synergy between YU and Juicy, because that is what brought them the win against RRQ.
Yeah, I'd like to see what the game plans look like too. I think actually Boaster's called some really creative looks on this map. It's something he's been super comfortable with in the long term too. So it's a test of a map pool. This second map ends up being a bit more of a test of endurance as well. You get off to a bit of a nervous beginning and now you start to settle into a BO5. It's about Wolves finding that rhythm for me, I think.
Yeah, it absolutely is. For Fnatic though, this feels like the most comfortable map they could really get to try and go up 2-0 in this series. They've always been excellent here on Icebox. They've had a great run on it back on EMEA this year. I've especially liked them switching into a Sage comp that kind of fell out of popularity for a lot of time, but is just so strong on this map. Fnatic is a team that loves to play retake pretty much every map they are playing, and on this map they do such a great job of stalling out that plant, getting everyone in position, and just winning these easy retakes with that Sage wall up and the players flooding in.
Yeah, and as we jump into Agent Select, I want to see if Wolves is going to repeat that. Yes, they locked that instantly. YU is going to be on that Gecko, and with them starting on the attack, again, I want to mention how important it is for Juicy to have a good showing on this first half. As you're saying, Fnatic is going to give them a lot of space. It was one of the solutions that they found on Split. Finding an opener, going back, just play the time, play for the retake, and Chronicle is a great stage here.
We need to see a confident Wolves that's willing to fight up in their post plans, get ahead of Fnatic's utility, and be willing to challenge them. If Fnatic is allowed to just play the set retakes the way they want to, I think they'll run over this defense.
I think Pistol round 2, you're going to watch Chronicle on defense. He's going to buy the wall, and Wolves need a game plan, especially on the Pistol, because it's almost impossible to break the Sage wall quickly there. So that's where I think, Mimi, your point of playing up, playing aggro, they've got to have a game plan on the Pistol built around not letting Fnatic just walk back in with that Sage wall defuse.
And for both teams, it does come down a little bit to their Jets. 2 players positive of one ascension in different years. For Kayak, it was straight to Fnatic after winning with Apex. For Juicy, had that year off. Now here for his first time as well, going head-to-head on these agents that can absolutely take over on Icebox.
We heard what Coach Fade said earlier on. They don't want to be in a position where they're just giving too much respect to Fnatic. They have to fight them right where they are. Otherwise, Fnatic, an experienced team of guys who've been here and done that, could very well run all over them. This is going to be a big, big challenge here for the Wolves. And the question is, can they tie this 1-1? But we're going to have to find out because it's a BO5. So this one's far from over. Let's send it back over to Pansy and Hypoc for map 2.
Okay, map 2 Icebox. Now, I think something said there really resonated with me, Mike. The fact that there is that fear of a name, right? Fnatic are legends in this. It makes you almost respect them too much, right? That second half showed real signs of life for Wolves, but I don't think we can keep depending on those, you know, running it back, playing from a deficit. I need to see them hit the ground running.
It's exciting to watch, never comfortable.
Yeah.
For that to be the game plan and that to be, you know, the strongest aspect of the playbook. So for sure, I mean, it's got to just be so exhausting to constantly be channeling or playing from behind and channeling into that sort of psyche. And again, I come back to the same thing. You never really are able to win a veto versus Fnatic, and this being the biggest concern, I guess, in the home stretch. Let's come to Icebox map 2. Again, proof of life shown in map 1. They carry that across now.
So of course, if you're just tuning in, 13-9 on the first in favor to Fnatic. Here onto Icebox, Wolves will be starting out on the attacking side, setting the tempo themselves. Fnatic looking to hinder that. Hello and goodbye. Crashy swiftly dealt with. Tried to stick around a little too long. Maybe feeling a little bit too confident. And Wolves get into that nice post plant.
Able to reset almost immediately. Still got the wall to work with here for Fnatic. So Kayak want to open things up here. Why you though? Finds a response.
Yeah, trying to go around the site. I kind of liked it, but he almost fumbled for a moment. And Chronicle, this guy just keeps getting better and better as the day goes on. And Sufat Beanie just has to try and peer over that wall. But Cron, one of the most decorated players, looking comfortable on stages like this.
Again, these are the sort of retakes that Fnatic will play towards time and time again. Right, they want to open things up, and you almost expect a couple of extra bodies alongside YU here. Gotta anticipate. I mean, you see the comp immediately, you know where the strengths lie. Almost exactly the same woo.
Yeah,
so yeah, they rehearsed that.
I think they practice. Now, for Wolves, it is just classics. But again, we talk about this. I don't want to see them go to that massive deficit and have to claw it back for themselves. We know they can. We'd love to see them get that ball rolling early. As it stands, Fnatic, you're looking at the purchase here. You can maybe say 3 of those weapons, especially the one in Kayak's hands and maybe Boasters, they'd want to keep hold of. And Kayak hasn't been moved. Gets away with murder in the back of yellow. Eventually overwhelmed, but Boasters right there. This simplistic stuff. Sufat Baby does get that prized possession, but they want it back, and they're gonna get it. Simple stuff from Fnatic, not feeling phased so far.
Just the one casualty will establish a little bit of a cushion here for Fnatic to lean upon. Get the freebie behind.
Down B. Enemy remaining.
No, mine don't do that. Yeah, I saw Devi yesterday, and I was just like, that was just like one of those phantom moment aces. He was like, yeah, you're just shooting, and the second or third lands, you're not even trying it.
Yeah, you just light work.
I'm like, yeah, same for me all the time.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So, big round for Wolves now. Buys in play. Why are you not a million miles away from home? Still got a bit to go. An early test on middle. You can see where the vast majority of the attention resides. Fnatic taking space down towards B long. Going to post up Kayak on that deeper line. God, how far is he willing to find this? Lysor, keep your eyes on the prize. There is a very hungry player on the other side, but early contact made.
peel away from this pretty quickly. Not necessarily anything to stop Wolves progressing towards A, but certainly a few pieces of kit to slow down this execute. Again, the alarm bot placement actually prevent any further push-up towards screens. But first wave, Wolves don't actually find the plant. Lysol's that Chronicle, though, a key piece in the retake.
It certainly is, but they're losing some of that HP on the site, but they do at least get the plant now. Not a fully comfortable post-plant. Juicy still making the best of a bad situation. Taking down Boaster on only 3. That mid lurk is coming in. That is Lysol on the way. Maybe not necessary, but a lovely string to the bow here. Oh, that's clean. And now just one. And Lysol's got it. Beautiful. Gutting and filleting them alive in this one. Wolves getting back into it.
Early response found here from Wolves. I mean, both teams converting the bonus in map 1, so defying those previous results already. See how now Flag already round number 4. Operator in hand for him. And already shown signs of defensive proactivity in the previous. Sit back maybe a little deeper here, set up on the sideline.
And again, if you're someone like Fnatic, you have the ability to be a little bit boisterous almost as well. Hold those more confident, deeper lines. The Wolves, they need to almost temper that, right? Bring them back into heel. Cull some of that confidence. But there's always a good balance with Fnatic. They're not going to go too far. You can see what the attempt is here from Wolves. A little early glance towards A. You can see where they're stacking now.
Again, it's always a discussion topic. Seeing the nanos from Lysol burn up versus the Sage, you really want to keep as many of those stalls, utilities in the post plant as possible. You're trying to, I guess, weaken Alpha's hold on mid. Not really going to amount to much.
Oh, most of that is a brave swing there, but does get the info on the cross towards yellow. So the rotation's going to be coming in with some confidence. But Juicy gets caught. Alpha quick to it. They want that plant, but Alpha is doing damage from above. Catching CFAT BB as well is a problem. And Waiu's ult doesn't feel safe from this position either. So has to play it out here, trying to find some security, and that's going to help matters. Spring makes his presence known through middle and puts him into this 3v4.
Stuffed up now, they have to dig out a player from back yellow. Kayak gifted one onto Spring here, and it's just why you left now.
And they got to know about it. They know about his position to an extent, and he's been absolutely corralled by Crashies. Fnatic looking solid here. Very disciplined in that play back in, and certainly helped by Alpha catching 2.
Kayak as well, didn't even catch it off screen. The immediate follow-up with the operator. But Juicy doesn't even get a chance to react here. And here's the first, second immediate. I mean, Lysol really, like I said, with that plant position, he's the one that you really want to see have that, I guess, safety from the front line where he doesn't have to peak too early. But again, Spring was giving away an opportunity for Fnatic to find a way back in.
Okay, they've got the ult with Waiu, so that's something they have at least in the back pocket. But the purchase a little bit weakened, as you can see. There's going to be the ult, maybe just trying to isolate Boaster, clear through yellow. We've seen Kayak's been a problem there. A little bit of a layer to that as well. You saw early on Juicy trying to take the space behind it, so he could catch a punish, but not to be. But fast rotations in mind. Look at the presence here already, Mike. That's 4 players on this side.
And a pause for thought on the way in here. Kayak, see the X-ray littered with Wolves players.
Target-rich environment for this man.
Waiting for the wall to come back up over the top. Kayak will still find one.
Oh, and Juicy trying to play way ahead of that desperation to find some security. And that is a brave ult. It's worked out. Call Boaster. Is anyone there to try and keep him safe? Yeah, there's plenty. You don't get an easy kill. Boaster's got his boys around him. Diffuse is there. 5 still standing. Oh! Oh! Hit him with it. I'm scared of this Fnatic though, because it doesn't feel like there's pressure on them, right? This doesn't feel like a tense Fnatic. They've come in calm, having fun. Same to be said on the other side, but At some point, that strain of potentially being 2 maps down will start to hit here. Again, Kayak. I feel like I'm almost underselling Kayak at times because he's hit the ground running. I know he was this big tier 2 prospect coming up. He was the one to try and catch, right? The one to get in the roster. But unbelievable.
Let's just remind ourselves, first international showing. Already.
Oh, listen.
And yeah, already looking at top 3. But aside from that, having such a strong performance individually. And like I said, any player would be happy to step into any iteration of Fnatic rosters over the years, but again, to come in and be, I guess, the headline in a number of individual performances is just fantastic to see for him.
It is, and again, he's taken the role of once was the king of Icebox Durka, right?
Yeah, at times we've even said this thankless role. Again, Durka went through peaks and troughs, and yeah, went through it, along the years, but Kayak already showing here that he's up to the challenge. He has done regionally as well. So fantastic, so happy to see he's able to carry that through. Again, surrounded by a wealth of experience that
absolutely
really pays dividends for, call it a rookie.
Which feels wild, right?
I saw some pinks here. Is this just a straight up mid-split, potentially?
Got to try something.
Yeah, Alpha immediately putting the alarm out the window.
A little scared of Alpha in this form, though, and I think most players would be. But for Juicy, he makes it look like mincemeat, clears him fast, right up the guts. There's now Fnatic split. Oh, it's a belting shot right there. A couple more of those, and maybe it's game back on. But how do they get this towards the site? It looked like they wanted that A, but now they've already adjusted, heading over towards B. Juicy trying to buy the time, only one more knife to put to the throat of Fnatic here. And Kayak trying to keep his attention turned. Crashes clears through. The plant now just going down Spring with a big valuable weapon here, caught up, picked up from the corpse of Alpha.
Rez here.
Fallen. Rez goes to Boaster over Alpha.
I was gonna say, Alpha and Crashes both actually have their ultimates as well.
Interesting choice.
See how now, if they can recover that, maybe prioritizing.
Look at this position from Sufat, baby. Look at this. Could be absolute money. Wall goes up. Oh, the collapse! For the money, worth its weight in gold. But Kayak in the 1v2. Kayak in the 1v2. Kayak in the 1v2. Someone swinging. Okay, he's doing the dance with YU. He's trying to find that next target. Isolated. Still on the... Oh! It's unthinkable from Kayak! The new kid on the block! Ripping him apart!
His ears must have been burning. The Red Bull clutch from Kayak. I'll say it again. The first international showing. Just outrageous.
Enemy remaining. You thought that was going to be the highlight of the round. And then this man does this. Bloody hell, that shot. Oh. That is tasty.
10-2 now. Top of the board for Fnatic.
He wants more. Confidence brimming. Handled on the first, though. Denied freedom. Quick heal. And he's unrelenting. He wanted to stick around.
Wolves unable to pin him down. Start. Again, don't shy away from the fight. Same could be said for Kayak. Healed up now and a second chance. Second bite. Actually comes through. What? He's found another one.
How's he got 2 out of that? Sheer control from Kayak. Gets them the man advantage early, and there's a fast flank on the way.
Swarm grenade.
You may have thought you won out the side, but now you're surrounded.
And actually, yeah, the plant coming through. Unorthodox position, but Hunter's Fury.
Always
Crashes looking for something. Juicy didn't get hit there.
I thought that was on. Had a couple of these ults today. Second time of asking, but look at the positioning from Alpha and Boaster. They've got him pinned on the site, and that's the problem. Now they've got to evacuate. Where do they decide to go? Well, there's no good way to go here. Spring trying to find a corner to play from.
It's got a little bit of safety, but it's not safety.
No, it's a 1v4. Oh, and he's been iced out. And there's a flying Kron. Fnatic just being filthy about it. This is Fnatic looking in finals form. And that is a terrifying prospect to any team.
I was about to say, just here on the back of the clutch, I can see Kayak posted up on this wall, and I was thinking, there's no way. There's no way Dry's just swinging on that. But then there's 4 members of Wolves facing the opposite direction.
Thinking he's not going to swing that.
Nobody's going to swing through this.
Now.
That's one. Yeah, the timeline now 4 successful defuses for Fnatic. Wolves once again asking for a recovery here. 5-round deficit, more manageable than where we've seen them before, sorry.
Yeah. The scary thing is, in my mind, I think a lot of us love the idea of the underdog, right? It's hard to not love what Wolves have done, but it does feel like somehow we've awakened the old gods. I mean, Fnatic haven't looked this good. I mean, we cast them plenty of times. We've all watched them regionally. They ain't looked like this in a minute, but right now, they're looking scary, but Wolves trying to hold on here. Oh, that's nice. Juicy could have done with another, but Crash is quick to business, and the plant going to be stalled out.
Kayak dash will burn up, so be a little more, dare I say, passive in terms of these peaks. I saw potentially good timing on the wall breaking.
I'm already seeing Kron looking that way, though.
Yeah, I mean, eyes trained that direction.
Discipline now being shown from both sides, see if there's an overstep. But Fnatic's re-clear is very, very reserved. I guess the only risk they're taking is really Kron. And there it is, lovely. Oh, but the trade still. Great positioning from Kron to get that back. I thought that was a fair fight. And CFAT Baby is now locked on that site.
Safe plant, he's not really got many options. Even ahead of the wall as well. Chronicle looking to just stand his ground, take this engagement. An awkward exchange back and forth, but Most is there waiting.
Toxin screen down.
The thing that scares me, Mike, this is the attacking side where Wolves have been strong. They've been good at these, but Fnatic looking that step better. There's not much more to say about it for Wolves. They might have met their match here. At one step above, these big games, at pressure, can get to the best of them. But for now, it's 7-1, Fnatic feeling none of that.
Game plan looking undeterred here. I mean, even just, some of these replays are brutal to see. But yeah, unfortunately, Wolves, you're almost hoping now that they have another option, a way to kind of lean away from, I don't want to say these dry hits, but kind of run up, find, you know, the free plant in the back of Wingman, because necessarily working for, I mean, they're getting to the post plant. We already saw the timeline. It's diffusers coming through for Fnatic, but they're so well drilled. Rarely catch them off guard with those sorts of setups. Hunter's Fury available here for Wolves. One rifle in the hands of Spring.
Look at that mid presence already, though. I mean, it feels like Fnatic have identified that there's been those nice mid lurks coming out from Wolves that haven't really got them around, but you can see the pressure it's put on a couple of times. But as it stands, once again, you got Kayak posted on that deep line on A. He's not feeling any pressure. Speaking of pressure, a couple of issues downside the show.
Still able to be activated.
Oh man, this is tough to win, as you can see them really feeling under the gun here. Boast already taken away YU. The plant is in place, but Kron creeping closer. He knows he's got one locked towards side. It's so simple for him. Step by step, they want to clear house. See if that BB, Spring and Lysor desperate for a round. Oh, it's so simple. Fnatic, it's not meant to look this easy. It's really not. And all of that reckless optimism just gets shattered here. Round by round, Fnatic keep getting stronger.
And hoping, I mean, we had another early timeout called here in the first half. So yeah, just popped up on the screen yet. Need to come up with a solution here, because you don't just get a free plant and a free post plant versus a team like Fnatic. We're already seeing how well drilled. They can just they can sit back, just wait for everything. again here, the purchase wasn't there. Slight fumble maybe on the shock dart, so.
It just feels like those nerves are coming up, right? That kind of heavy feeling. Now we know that Wolves can bring back games like this. How many times have we seen it? But I think it's the way we're starting to see these rounds go down, right? It's the...
Well, the issue being that actually Fnatic's the sort of team that you kind of get one of those maps against them. You don't get to repeat that over and over again. So I think, and also Fnatic, one of those teams that once they're ahead, they are a team of momentum, right?
Yes, they are.
Yes, we could talk about some choky history when they're playing from behind, but again, there's also points in their history where they've looked best at playing from behind. So unfortunately, it's one of those teams that some days when they're in form, and they have been here in Toronto, it's tough to really find a weak aspect to the game plan, their mental, and all these other factors.
Kind of crunch time in my mind for Wolves now.
Right there.
I mean, the crowd have willed these guys on. The sixth man behind them at times, but waiting for something to cheer for. It has been the Fnatic show so far. Right, forced off the first angle, though. Spring potentially in a good spot here.
Reed is good from Fnatic coming out of the timeout, though. Look at Boaster's position. They're ready to spring the trap behind this. Deal with the turret nice and early. It's actually going to draw. Look at Spring. He's walked straight through the orb.
Oh, it is audacious from him. But, oh, you don't get a freebie often on Alpha. And this is what I mean, these small moments that are slipping aside for Wolves. And Juicy's still there. There we go, finding some power on the site. An opportunity made and maybe denied by Alpha, who should have been dead, keep in mind. Should have been brought down earlier. But Boaster in the back line is going to keep them locked on the site as best he can. A gift given as YU takes him down. Okay, game back on potentially here. A needed timeout to correct the sinking ship. Oh God, Alpha.
Player standing.
A 1v2. Have you just shown them a chance of what could have been to merely take it away? No, a light sword there, and there is what they needed. A sign of life, Mike. They needed something. If that's enough to get them going, so be it, but they've got to close out the rest of this half.
Yeah, this is around that actually Fnatic teed up to really take control of. Again, I didn't quite catch it. I was looking at the minimap, but Boaster almost showing his hand a little too early here. YU able to then isolate him. You're hoping really that Crashies and Alpha can be the ones to bear the brunt of pressure, then put Boaster into a position to spring the trap. Second on the board for Wolves. Still got a Hunter's Fury. One away from the knives for Juicy. For Fnatic, the Res and the Pit available. Even there, Chronicle as well getting isolated just ahead of potentially finding a trade and getting somebody back on their feet. Alpha spotted. Again, could be a key indicator here that actually he is spotted over towards A, but now Fnatic have a finger on the pulse.
They're surrounding him again. Look at this, Kayak.
Ooh.
I mean, Spring's still alive, but it feels like a matter of how long. He's still taking down Kayak. Spring, a really nice try towards middle, and in the meantime, you're looking at Wolves taking over the site. Labor spray's not good enough. Plant is in. Just about gets the plant, down times on their side. See that BB does have his ult, but they're dwindling in numbers. Lysor desperate to hold on. He's been doing serious work. But the site now under pressure, under scrutiny. Boaster stepping on through, finds Lysor, leaving just one alive. Sufat BB, the man at the forefront of this roster. And this time he's brought to his knees. Fnatic handling it, Mike. I think this might be a bit of a swan song now for them.
9th on the board. Again, a recurring nightmare scoreline potentially for Wolves. I mean, Spring does so well here to even just find the first, but like I said, Fnatic have a perfect read coming out of the timeout. They repeat the same thing here in terms of getting bodies on the flank and addressing that back line. Play from Boaster as well with the pit. Great investment here. And as round 12 purchases goes, that's not the prettiest you'll ever see.
Gotta find something. Clutching at straws now, Wolves. You gotta dig deep here. Juicy wanting to be the man forward. He was set into motion.
You should run.
The lockdown. Preemptive in approach, but fine. Should facilitate the play-in, but Boaster wants to disrespect it. And it's brilliantly done. Oh, he couldn't make it out in time, but still good damage. And here comes the flood. See if that baby's got to be calling that out. Hello, hello, hesitation. Maybe causing desolation at this point. Crashes now, picks up the mantle, and see if that baby surrounded. Trying to get Juicy back into play. Nice work in synergy. And now a fight in two fronts. He knows there's still players around. Sends in the dark, still alive. How is he alive? One down so low, but Juicy's doing the work on the side. See if that baby's just playing the time. Oh, he does the dance so well, giving them a little bit of hope, Mike. But it's slim margins again here with only 3 rounds to their name.
Curse on the cards. 9-3, a slight improvement short. Wolves still looking to try and find a recovery once more in the second half.
Red Bull gives you wings.
An update is required. Financial system updating. System updated.
We will dance to get.
The future of money is here. Feels good.
Well, things are not looking good for the Wolves right now, but you remember what happened last time when the Wolfpack got together. Let me hear you howl at a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And if you are a Fnatic fan, I want to hear a stupefy on a count of 3. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Wolves, one more time. 1, 2, 3. And it stupefies on a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And one more time for the whole crowd, for the co-streamers in the booth. Let me hear you make some noise. Give it up here for Masters Toronto!
Fans being silly, you love to see it. Coinbase Econ report here. You got to look at Kayak, Mike. Look at those numbers.
Yeah, I mean, these are some fairly rough reports coming out in the series, particularly for Wolves. But yeah, Kayak standing ahead of the pack, able to maintain a stranglehold of the finances. And that operator alive and kicking. Actually, dude, that's one of the best signs I've seen today.
Yeah,
actually,
I actually really like that. People are far too talented.
What was the other one we saw the other day? It was what the hell is a Wolverhampton doing in Toronto? That's another good one.
Yeah. People are far too talented for my likings.
Way more than us.
Yes. No, I can barely speak. As noted by the
That's us.
Welcome Back. True. Waiting for Wolves to turn up. Because we're hoping for it, right? You wanted to see the Wolves that was scary throughout this tournament, that have won hearts and minds. Right now, under all those lights and all that pressure, Fnatic have come out and looked fantastic. 9-3 in the second map here of Icebox. Now Fnatic's turn on the attack for Wolves. No strangers to walking back scorelines like this, but a brand new environment to do it in, and already Alpha's drawn first blood.
See if that BB calls ahead of the plant coming through. Actually,
nice.
Spring on the reaggress. Beautiful kill, but Crashes finds a response. Lysor also finding one. Spring doubles down.
I like it. They're trying to get into this one, but Alpha not allowing fun to happen. A 2v2 is where it rests. Spike feels so far out of hand here, but still, Lysor will be forced off a touch by that util, allowing Boaster to pick that Spike back up. Now maybe a pause for thought here, a moment for Alpha to try and work.
So whose shot was that? Was that Alpha's?
It felt like it was, but the feet shown. And this is tense by all occasions. But a fabulous shot from Juicy, leaving just Alpha, but this guy has been a menace. Oh! A lifeline from Lysor. Necessary now for Wolves. They've got to keep going.
We said in the first map of these sorts of scorelines, they can repeat the same success, find a bonus conversion on top, because we're not just talking pistol round 2.
30 seconds
to establish
one ending.
The foundation of that snowball very early on.
Yes!
Beautiful start once more. Alpha denied the clutch. See if Wolves can build upon this now.
To this one, we do see the Outlaw with Alpha. Heard the earlier one from Juicy over on that B side of the map. So I don't know how much play Alpha's going to get into this. Let's see, YU, got to be careful here. Plenty of threats. They're trying to play Alpha in.
Yeah.
Taking those steps up now. That's, I don't want to say a free site, but it's an open site at least.
Standing ahead. Good invest in full belt of util for Chronicle as well. Crashy's eating up the damage.
Lucky boy. Still breathing, barely, but he is standing. Oh, get out of here, Kayak. What is that as well? Crash is finding another Lysor now has to kick it up a gear. The savior from the first now called upon in the second. It was never meant to be this close. And there's still Alpha in the back lines. They're dwindling in numbers, right? Wolves trying to bring this back here. Spring trying to be imposing, but it's down to Kayak in the 1v1. Up against Spring.
Just got to say, yeah, safe defuse point as well.
This is nice. Kayak trying to close the gap, but hesitation, and maybe a mistake. Kayak, are you really going to break their hearts right now? 3 bullets! Kayak, the heartbreaker, devastating Wolves, where Fnatic had nothing.
A second clutch from Kayak, coming alive here on Icebox. But just in general, I mean, Crashies, the walking dead here on the site. Able to stick the plant, reset, gets a little bit of a heal, but then finds another kill. Kayak's reposition to deny the safe defuse.
God. I mean, we're talking about, if you're looking at rookies who've ever performed like that, it's a very short conversation at international level. Oh my God. Charging down Alpha like that. Not a good idea. Simple stuff for the man. Handled well though, and down to a 3v3.
Could be a way back into this with Lysor up close and personal already. I mean, you don't want Crashies facing this ultimately, but finds a headshot. A second to find though.
Ooh, it's right on a knife's edge here. YU could be unlocking the opportunity.
A pedigree from Crashies, baiting out the first, connecting with a headshot. It's just a classic left in the hands of CU Fat BB.
And that timer just singing the song of Fnatic. Hear that Spike forcing him forward. There is not many opportunities, and Crashies basically in the checkmate. Even if it got tense, even if he took down 2, there was always Crashies. And Wolves trying, you can't say they're not.
Enemies close.
But Fnatic now very close to closing out this second.
Wolves will have a chance to buy back in here to round 16. Heartbreaking to see a second round flip. To give Fnatic just an opportunity to seal the deal.
You are in our way.
On Icebox. Again, not a formality just yet.
He stands. Oh dear, is the curse true? Let's see. To do it into a round like this as well. Oh. A buy-in play for Wolves. The best opportunity to build any way back into this game. And that, well, what the hell is that?
Wow.
Oh!
Again, you can see, yeah. Got gas left in the tank, but when Kayak's finding kills like this, shutting down that proactivity, Juicy trying to pave the way to take control.
You should run.
Round 16 now, the lockdown comes through from Alpha. Roll out the red carpet for Fnatic here onto A site. Stacked up flank here though, Boaster. Got to be careful these sight lines. The turret's here.
Nice timing,
yeah,
Crashies.
To give information across.
It's, yeah, that's an instant call to arms, right? Crashies finding YU, really well done. Boaster should be there with him. You're now going to have Kayak coming back across. Wolves looking to try and split them, but they've stood tall together. And Spring and Sufat BB having no play into this. Oh, it's looking all too easy for Fnatic now. Wolves crumbling under this pressure, Mike. 12-4. Where have they gone?
Now facing map point on a broken buy. This is just ridiculous from Kayak. Again, you can't fault Juicy for committing to this. Well, it feels teed up. I mean, we obviously has a few more bodies behind this, but just so rough to see those sort of things not converted. Guardians across the board now for Wolves. A bit in play, but again, where these halves have panned out, not necessarily the sort of ultimate that's going to really swing the odds in their favour.
Poison's off.
Although fast rotation, Wolves want to try and get ahead of this potentially. Maybe find a favourable engagement, but it's going to come through. The wall goes up. Find the plant. Chronicle over the top. We'll find Juicy once more.
And Alpha just finding ease in middle as well. These shots look too simple for him. Man advantage now to Fnatic. As Wolves are a little on the ropes here. Boaster trying to buy the time. Stall them out a little. The Viper's Pit trying to facilitate the cross through. Maybe apply a little bit of pressure, but look who's waiting. Looking like the rookie could have ended it, but no. Spring gonna fight forward. Fantastic from Spring.
Hunter's Fury available.
You can hear it rattling off in the distance. Alpha still standing guard on the site itself. Does fall in the end. Now Crashy's called into this. You can hear the time ticking. Sufat BB can do nothing but stand back and watch. Map 2 is Fnatic's at 13-4. The Wolves crumble under the pressure. And now Lotus becomes the conversation. Is there anything left in the tank for the Wolves now?
Fnatic taking firm control of this series. Wolves, they said, broken, battered and bruised. Can they recover once more? Last chance to do so.
Alright, Jake, pick a song. Dum, dum, da, da, dum, dun, da, 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 dum. I know what song. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Esports is a $2 billion industry now, but it all started in dingy basements and cramped living rooms.
From how the pros train to how the money flows, this G2 and MasterCard series breaks it all down. 12 episodes, packed with insight and lessons for anyone looking to understand the world of competitive gaming. Ready to learn the game behind the game?
Stay tuned for what's next.
You won't want to miss it.
Let me show you how the Fox does. Oh man, I was just getting warmed up.
Spike defused.
To face your death, cause you play a roulette with each step. I progress, no less. Go ahead and place your bets, cause we know where we at, we know we top tier. Cause all the hate that you bring, we know it stops here. I'm taking off like a rocket here and stopping here. It's strange how they cannot see the future, but see profit here. Wait up, we gon' always win. Promise that that's not a promise, yeah, that is a threat. You know that I promise to bring the team commas. When the whole team win, that's when you flex. Win, and I'ma do it again. Watch me win, then watch me do it again. I can feel it in that bottle. You got secrets I wanna keep. You can give them more to me. You can give them more to me. Demons. Demons. Demons.
Before we started the grand finals weekend, and we decided to cook some stuff up. I'm joined here by Leanne and also Aiden. Leanne, where are you coming from?
Montreal.
Oh, ça va bien? Tu parles français?
Oui, un petit peu.
Oh, nice. And you are coming from, sorry?
Rochester, New York.
Rochester, New York. Did you drive or fly?
We drove.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for making all this time to come out. And as I'm touching your shoulder, I'm realizing that you're off balance a bit. Do you know what's going on here?
I have some things attached to my feet currently. So.
How about you?
Then we're gonna pump it up.
Oh, that's the great hip. What we have here is a balloon on top of each other's heads. So, Leanne, you are representing here Fnatic, and you are representing the Wolves. So what we're going to try to do here is have a pop-off segment, right? You need Wolves to pop off right now. You need this balloon to pop. So we have these apparatus here. So we have the pumps that we talked about. And now we're going to have our staff put the tubes to your head. And you want to pump as fast as possible and have your balloon pop. We've already seen Kayak pop here in the 2 maps so far. And now we need Wolves to try to make a comeback. Can Spring do it? Can Lysor do it? And speaking of springs, we're going to start springing our pumps here. Are you both ready?
Yes, sir.
How about you, Leanne?
I think so.
All right. So if you're ready, on your marks, we're going to go on 3. 1, 2, 3, let's go! Toronto, give it up here! Do we have the Wolves? We have Fnatic. The Cardew's in. The feet are out. Oh, and we do have the Wolves after all. A small disqualification here for Fnatic. And Fnatic are 2-0 in this one. And I got to say, that halftime game, I've never seen anything like that in my life. That was awesome there. But let's take a look real fast at the HyperX Reflex moment of the day, because this goes to Kayak yet again. I mean, this kid is just unbelievable. This play was ice cold.
This is unreal. I think this is the second best play of the tournament, right behind that Kiko ace. How does he get this final kill?
It's just incredible out of Kayak, but this run is also indicative of this game as a whole. It was all about the retakes for Fnatic. 8 out of the 9 rounds they win in the first half come to these retakes. They're so good at shutting down players who are playing up, getting that Sage wall down, and fighting forward as the defuse comes through. It was a fantastic icebox from Fnatic.
I think that they were very quick on their reacts, and probably one of the reasons why those retakes were so good. I love the synergy that we've seen from players that I did not expect, like Chronicle and Kayak. Kayak going for the kill, but Chronicle being ready with the heal, even if it's that. And if we look at the performance that Kayak is having, that we say it's amazing. It's been a resemblance of what we had in playoffs in EMEA. So if for tomorrow we're going to get this Kayak, maybe we get another 3-0 for Fnatic in the grand final.
He actually could be he could be a late run for MVP if he pops off in that game too, if indeed Fnatic can get themselves there.
Oh yeah.
And remember, rookie player stepping into the shoes of Durka was incredible in stage 1, showing that here as well. Those are the stats that we're talking about with them winning into these retakes. Wolves got the spike down all but 1 round, only closed it out 3 times.
Yeah, it's an absolute heartbreaker for them there, but it goes to show Kukuka just how studied, how prepared this Fnatic team is in these situations.
I think that the most scary thing is that at the beginning of the tournament, of course, they came in with a lot of preparation because out of the EMEA teams is the one that had the most,
and
but things were not working. They were making a lot of silly mistakes. Now we found a Fnatic whose plans are working.
Which is scary for everyone else involved in this, especially the Wolves right now, Josh, because they're facing the bottom of the barrel. This could very well be it for them if they're not careful.
I felt pretty decent about Wolves in that first map because they were able to get back into things, thought it was nerves to knock them down early 8-1. This map was 8-1 again, though. That is rough.
There's something about miracle runs ending in 3rd place. You look back to Zeta Division at Reykjavik, the first EDG run. It's happened to a lot of other miraculous teams, but going into Lotus, a good map for both teams. Wolves having to stake their run on this one.
The thing is, though, Fnatic, this is just home territory. They're incredible here. And you've got to look back at the history of this squad and think that Fnatic are going to be able to get across the line here and deliver their 4th global grand final. They're within touching distance, and it's almost home ground here on Lotus.
But what do the Wolves do to come back into this one? Because it seems like everything is lining up for Fnatic as it currently stands right now, Mimi. This is scary territory for the CN team to be in.
I think they just have to, honestly, it's going to sound simple, but they have to focus on themselves. You have to let go of this lower final, how the game has gone thus far. Play to your own strengths. Slow the game down on your attacking side. Let Spring get involved in those lurks. And just remember the fundamentals. There are so many hero plays that Fnatic have pulled out in this series thus far. They need to be very on point with how they're trading, how they're scaling together, and just work it round by round.
With Fnatic starting on the attack, they need to stop Kayak from snowballing the performance that he's having. It's not only finding the comfort and the synergy, they need to at least play into the Fnatic game of getting 1 pick down and walking back. Leave them the space. Try to play for the retakes the same way that the Fnatic has been doing with you.
I'd like to see them too, once Wolves are on their attack side getting into these kind of positions. You got to disrupt the Fnatic retake. We just watched a map where Fnatic were able to do whatever they wanted on those retakes. And I think Wolves have got to come up with game plans before they even get the spike down to try to disrupt that idea.
Yeah, and Lotus has been such a good map for Fnatic in history. It's not a good idea if you're another team to pick this onto them. We've seen a lot of the Odin and what it can do. To me, it's also very scary, the form that Crashes is finding in this tournament.
I want to see a Wolves that's also willing on their attack side to go for early fights for A lobby control. Fnatic as a team very often is only having Boaster or maybe one other player play that space, and when they contain that space, it's only ever Boaster standing there, and he's very willing to fall back. So if Wolves are going for a re-clear place, they can get a lot of space there that's going to help out their macro a ton on attack.
I can't help but think about what Coach Fate said in that interview. They got to stop giving Fnatic that respect. But the problem is, Josh, is that Fnatic takes that respect away from you, and they don't care what you want because it seems like they are in the driver's seat here.
Yeah, they've also got 3 players absolutely on fire and a star-studded roster, so the pressure absolutely is going to be on Wolves. Think back to yesterday and how much Fnatic on their attack side were ending B and see whether they've adjusted that. Wolves have got a lot on their plate here.
Indeed they do. All right, Toronto, can the Wolves bounce back and send this one to a map 4? Let's send it back over to your casters. Here's Pansy and Hypoc yet again.
Hansi and Pypok.
It's not the best combination to names, GB, but we'll move on swiftly because this might be a bit of a swift game. We are already seeing this teeing up for Fnatic to close this out early.
Yeah, and I think Sideshow's hit the nail on the head here. This is almost feeling like home territory. I was talking about this veto being almost front-loaded for Fnatic, and I think we've already got 2 of those conditions fulfilled. Tall order here for Wolves to bounce back and channel
Toxins going up.
into that recovery factor, become bloodthirsty once more.
Because I need to see that killer instinct, Mike. I need to see Wolves kind of reminding themselves they're the team that took down the likes of Gen G, that made everyone pay attention. Dangerous together. Because right now, Fnatic looks singular in approach. They're looking at that next game. They're not even looking at you right now. That grand final. Now getting closer in the mind, but one more map stands between them and it. It could be here. Certainly a solid map for them. And they're making Wolves do the walk around this map.
Unable to deal with this utility behind the orb on C, though. I think on the back of that, Wolves commit a second player. Actually, with Spike positioned over towards Rumble, both have got to be careful. There are still 3 members of Wolves ready to pounce on this contact.
But it's not clean on the first. And Chronicle
30 seconds left.
just swiftly clearing up 2. And now it's the dash to the site, isn't it? Too Fat BB trying to keep his head down, trying to maintain his calm, but already going to be found by the Prowler, caught by the Seas. The paint shot finds it, or it's Chronicle. Oh God, Chron's on for an absolute tear. 10 seconds for the plants down, and Crashy's just keeping them at bay. Nice fight back. Still maybe some hope in them yet, but Alpha! Just the full stop to that sentence, and the first gained by Fnatic.
Running through the protocols.
Oh, it smiles. It's just, it doesn't feel as heavy now, does it?
Yeah, and it's rough as well. You're almost hoping that Wolves defy the odds here on the defensive side. You would have loved to be in a position where
Good job.
they could attack and
Nice
potentially put themselves in a position to dictate the tempo. And another thing touched on by the Deaths, they really need to disrupt this freedom that Fnatic have had. Necessarily score lines, but in terms of the macro game, in terms of the information, Boaster, not the flashiest of players, but he thrives in the mid-round. The puppet master for Fnatic. A wide open C side for the taking here.
In reality, it's 3 weapons they want to be keeping, and Alpha let off the leash a little. Have fun. Have a wander. Do some damage, and he's already done that. Now he's going to be able to note the players. You can see how hungry they are. The scent of blood, sure, but to be able to close down that kill is something different. Alpha is buying time. All of this is precious seconds. Wolves would love to do some damage here, but he's positioned well. Does get handled. Brilliant. The next steps look near on impossible at this point.
Yeah, only an upgrade to a Sheriff. And at that point, Fnatic now feel as if they know the weaker side of this Boast. A beautiful adjustment here to find Juicy. The position's going to mitigate any of that further risk from developing. Even actually a swap out here. Kayak happy to go forward, try and find some progress. Like sort of denying that. And the Death goes through an extra orb short. But rifles maintained here for Fnatic.
And I just need Wolves to now start firing back, right? These guys were gunners. They have been this whole way through. And a couple of kills to get yourself feeling comfortable could be key in this. They can't let that scoreline slip away from them again.
Never give me Marshall!
Doesn't like a Marshall.
No.
Noted. Noted.
It's the wrong type of scope for him. Speaking of scopes, Alpha on an early operator purchase. You see here, Boaster lining up. A little bit of damage conceded. That will certainly act as a deterrent, for Wolves. In terms of setting anything early outside A.
Yeah, Alpha on that operator. It's the exchange of space on this. Mound currently with the Wolf side. Rubble slowly being put back together by Fnatic. Steady stuff here.
Smoke going up. Could indicate, actually. Very early push in here. I mean, looking well invested. Juicy,
nice.
though. Moves the tip of the spear. Kayak will fall.
A couple more of those could certainly help matters, and if Boaster gets a little bit unsteady with that spike in hand, it could have been dangerous. For now, though, they sit back. They're not overextending yet. Maybe fancying their odds here, but Boaster, vigilant. Oh, handled! That's a shot, that's two. Well, a little sketchy as well, picking that spike back up. 30 seconds, and Fnatic aren't finding that springboard forward. Looking for this in the bonus here for them. And that's a lovely flank. Dreamy stuff. Now Chronicle handle. There it is. Finally looking alive. I need a few more of those for me to be believing, but I'm willing to watch that.
So did they get the operator back in hand? I'm not sure exactly of where it fell.
He was down by the door, but
yeah, I guess couldn't get over there quick enough.
One enemy remaining.
Before Fnatic will come back in, it's only really Alpha and Boaster to struggle. Piece together a full purchase, and light shields across the board. Lysor now. Boaster's Odin. Try and make use of it here. I think initially, yeah, that's going to act as...
Bring them down.
Sketchy for Spring on that one. Needs to be careful. They do have that rubble side of the map, so they're safe in that regard. You're going to be looking at Quad trying to handle maybe that push-up eventually as well. Juicy's Curiosity peaking. Not alone either. Lysor not too far away, but Cron's normally the backbone, right? The spine of this squad. But Spring's done well to find Alpha. Very diligent on that jump peak, but in the meantime, you can see the battle kind of breaking out throughout the map. Individual moments now. The timing, good for one, but couldn't get the follow-up.
And they know the Odin's close as well.
That's huge from Lysor. That controls half of this map. Now down on Kayak and Boaster. New young gun. That Fnatic side. Still with an opportunity to make some play happen here.
Actually getting towards one of the rifles here. Boaster going to come back through.
Nice.
30 seconds left.
Isolated Boaster. Got to find this kill, and he does.
But look, Boaster and these post plants on this side of the map has been good, but Mound's been taken over.
So we've got Paranoia to work with, and with both CuFat, BB and Lysor stacked up, could make this work. Shadows. Smokes himself off.
Showing me something here, Boaster. He's given himself a 1v1 here. But the angle, just a little too deep. CuFat, BB showing him how it's done there. And these are so key. These are such key rounds for Wolves. So necessary as a reminder of who they are and how they got here. Confidence can slowly be rekindled. Pressure put back to Fnatic.
Tie things up 2-2 early on. And already Wolves showing the willingness to proceed forward, continue fighting. Pressuring the extremity here. Again, broken purchase, but will reset Fnatic. Kayak does have the showstopper. There's actually going to be some investment around this as well. And tempered, though.
Can I get a drop?
Protecting round 6. Oh. A bit of a pace change, potentially.
Oh, yeah. Very pacey. Kayak just straight through. Gives them access to that B side. Boaster there as well, kind of propping up the control. Still have Juicy's ult to bank on if they need it. But they have Kayaks on the other side, so a little bit scary this round. Making mountains out of molehills,
yeah, I mean,
really.
These choke points are just so deadly to have come up against the showstopper. Kayak can find the heavier side of the stack here, but the Paranoia is huge.
But no one there to work off it. Slowed down, denied by the smoke. The Paranoia was perfect, but no one there to try and gap close. Boaster tested again. They've got to find a way back in, Mike. They're running out of time. That's going to help matters, but it's going to surely be traded. It is. Juicy dives in, couldn't get it. And now Fnatic making a stand. Oh, it's been cleared up. Wolves scrapping their way back in.
That's Juicy thrown in as the bait. Lamb to the slaughter. Actually, the trades come through fast enough. The Fnatic almost swept back off the B site.
Oh, that is...
Didn't quite catch that one going down, but... So Alpha looking a little frustrated with the outcome here.
One enemy remaining.
It was a very early timeout here for Fnatic.
Yeah.
Very early.
Not necessarily any fumbles just yet. It's Wolves showing grit and determination once more. Finding themselves, I mean, first time actually in the series, around to the good.
How mad is that to say? This is the first time they've been up in rounds. And again, also in this moment, it takes the wind a little out of the Wolves' sails, right? Slow it down a bit. Don't let that momentum build too massively. Keep them calm. The 3 back-to-back is everything. First time doing this sort of damage. Isor's been great, Juicy as well, looking sharper now. Starting to lock in a bit here. Odd's not too far away, YU, close by with his. On the other side, the cycle's starting to hit as well for Fnatic. Like Milan was mostly leading that conversation. Let's look at what the adjustments are now coming out from Fnatic. As said, this would be deemed as home territory for them. If they can find some comfort on it.
Home territory, but uncharted in terms of the only real anomaly being that Week 5 loss to Heretics domestically. It's been the one blip in terms of Lotus for Fnatic. Oh, that's forwards early paranoia. Fnatic going to be able to negate a lot of that. A ton of utility drawn out from Wolves' arsenal. It's YU with the operator.
Oh, this is sketchy.
On the way back in here.
Super sketchy. With bated breath, we wait, and now they strike. It's great from Juicy again. The third just out of its reach. One just gets around the corner in time. Looked like Spring wanted to really close down on that. But they haven't given up the rest of the map. Seaside still has its players, right? It still has YU here. That operator, I don't think noted yet.
No, they definitely don't know about this just yet. And you talk about 2-for-2 trade probably suiting the defenders in this regard, but...
Oh, it's gorgeous. Nasty little corner from Supat BB to play from. He's got help here. He's not alone. Now that operator rattles off the shot. Crash is trying to work forward, disrespecting it. And now the cross is next on the cards. Forced away by the Prowler, support not there yet. YU on an island. He's got to be good for it. A gift given, a plant in play, denied. Hold on, Chronicle, goal. Oh, they're holding on. Wolves chomping down on this. Not willing to relent just yet.
And now 2 to the good. Big ultimate drawn out here in terms of the pit from Chronicle. It's just a snake bite from Spring that hands onto Crashies.
10 seconds left.
He's so tagged up. No! Set up beautiful here from Wolves. Cycling the operator across now. It's going to be Juicy taking the reins. Might even look to try and find something outside B. Fnatic got to find an answer to this rumble control. They've struggled to really stabilize some of these early rounds. A couple of Guardians here, so Purchase definitely packing a punch. And then you see the Odin and the operator for Wolves. Whoa! You don't see that very often.
No, you don't, but Alpha will take that every day of the week. Big weapon found, though. Lysor's position could be devastating. Eyes drawn towards Spring. Lysor on the swing. It's beautiful between the Wolves. Fighting together as a pack.
Look at Kron, though. He's trying to press it towards C here. Alpha able to get away.
Early.
Oh, he's found the kill.
It's huge. And not caught on the cross. Alpha dodging IRL for that one. Trying to make a sprint for it. But the obstacle course is in play.
Look at Chronicle, though. He's wrapped B. He's all the way behind this. Lockdown here for Alpha as well.
Devastating position. Kron could be on for this one. It's lovely on one. Even going to see the second here. He knows it now. Spring under the gun. And Kron not going to outstay his welcome. He plays it well.
Now from the World Tour, all the way back over to A site. We'll find the plant now. Spring finds himself in a 1v2.
They made something of nothing here. Let's do this. It's incredibly hard. And Chronicle is playing this map very nicely. Next timing though.
Oh.
He's trying to clear deeper for Kron, but we can see where he... Oh, Spring! Lucky to be living. The turret stuck on the turret! Oh my God, hold on! But Kron's still here. The safest pair of hands, surely. And 5 HP ain't much to write home about. Oh, it's just stunning from Chronicle! MasterCard Thrifty and a master at work. He played them just to perfection.
In the timing on this decision to come back across, try and pressure onto C. That's a crucial kill that YU almost looks set up for. Just caught off guard by the stinger up close.
Thrifty.
Beautifully done. And a response found here from Fnatic after 4 in succession. 4 ultimates now, you just heard it. Everyone but Juicy on the side of Wolves. Lockdown and a Nightfall for Fnatic. Oh! Ahead of that, Kayak.
Toxin screen down.
Caught off guard, seemingly. Well, that was a bit of a safety net for him, but
It didn't feel like Wolves were actively playing this B site all that much, banking on utility. Nice.
big headshot.
Oh.
Big damage, but actually goes to find Spring. That's yeah, comes away from that. Looking healthier than it almost looked on the X-ray.
Alpha's lucky here, though.
Somebody out.
Still standing on 10, but an easy predicament to be in.
Despite not committed, so even down to 38 seconds on the clock, Fnatic looking for another pick. YU. Very deep position, though. It'll take a lot to dig him out. Just shouldering to the turret and the nano.
Oh, YU's in trouble, though. You see Kron on the other side, you can kind of chalk it up to that, right, on its own. All going to come down, clears through, there's nothing towards B, they now know. Good timing on the lockdown. Let's see if they've got anything to handle this for Fnatic. You can really see the Prowler coming in, that's going to connect as well. Time now, counter, lockdown on top. Plants in. I'm pretty sure one's going to be detained at bare minimum here. YU trying to do the damage on the way out. It's going to be Boaster being caught, but the lockdown in place still. This is dangerous. What do they have to deal with it? And knives out, baby! Fnatic clearing house! CFAT, BB, and Lightsaw just far away from this, so hard to be able to deny any part of it, but still holding on. CFAT Baby's position is rigged. He still does it. Down to the one. Crashies remaining. Nice moves here, though. And Crashies might be outdone. Oh, no, no, no. Crashies so calm. Keeps his cool. Oh, CFAT Baby! It's beautiful from him. The awful dodger getting the defuse. So slippery. Crashies unable to pin him down. And a miracle, you never see this sort of post-plant fall apart for Fnatic. 3 detained. I mean, Fnatic played the timing of the lockdown perfectly. You almost see them toying with the idea of giving one person up to YU's, but get another couple of seconds. And it could have gone either way. Oh, yeah.
For the superstar for Wolves, once more delivering a round victory, a crucial round victory to break the funds.
Okay, Wolves starting to heat up now. That is a sort of round that gives you confidence too, right? Adrenaline pumping, but they've got to stay cool under this kayak closing in now. He knows that Lysol was nearby. Spring in the meantime just got Crashies down. Lysol checks back in, and suddenly it all lines up here. From what was a drought of rounds in the first 2, Bot coming back. Wolves looking deadly.
Alpha's found space to play into.
Calling my bot.
Again, Sheriff in hand. Or he doesn't feel too confident to dig any deeper. Spring's going to be the one to potentially feel this out. It's out on top now. Boaster left in the clutch. A 1v5 Arstov.
Imagine the dance he'd be doing after this one. Bloody hell, not going to be. Wolves. Mike, we actually might have a game here.
Step by step. Finding a response here on map 3 could be crucial. I've already seen a timeout from Fnatic. Certainly seen an adjustment, but the retake's looking very comfortable for Wolves. Able to weather the storm here on Lotus. Lysor sitting at 10 and 5. Still, ultimates available here. Juicy, Showstopper, Spring with the pit. It's on the side of Fnatic. Maybe hoping to see Kayak and Chronicle find a little success to get theirs online. Round 10 now. There's not many chances left in this first half.
Now in a tempo change, it looks like we're about that 1 minute mark, 120, sorry, excuse me. And Fnatic looking like they want to head towards that C site early here. Yeah, Paranoia's already gone in. So pace change on this one, flank on the way, Kayak in on the site. Still standing nearby with Spring, dealt with, deleted, Boaster. Gonna make sure this is as secure as possible. Uh-oh, Kron. Oh my word, he's surrounded. He's revealed, he looks dead, and buried he is! Juicy.
Leaving nothing to chance.
Yep. They are pulling no punches now. Alpha waiting for the pressure to come back in here. Clean with it. Falls away, does his job.
Player standing.
Fnatic finding everything they need though. Crashies. 2 on the round for him. Lysor finds a response.
There it is. There it is. You don't get easy games against Fnatic, even if you are leading. Still threat throughout.
I think as well, G2 only team to prevent Fnatic from actually having the advantage in the first half of Lotus, so Wolves already tracking ahead of that. Potential here. Well, I mean, still potential to go a little further.
Player standing.
So a 2-round advantage. Fnatic back on, I guess, a better purchase than we have seen in some of these rounds. Actually, Wolves outside. See sight here, Juicy. He's bested Kayak.
That is a beautiful shot from him. The fact that Alpha keeps his life is surprising as well, down on 10 HP. And then look at the space Spring wants to take. He's still walking up. Alpha sitting deeper, waiting! But Spring, so good. Punishing that and giving Wolves the man advantage.
3v4 now for Fnatic. Try and find success towards A. Lysor shut down. Chronicle finds the entry. Actually, one away from the pit here. Do they want to cycle across and maybe give him the plant? Could be huge here to try and convert.
There it is. Oh, no.
Yeah, I thought maybe.
Spiked it.
They want to get 2 players deep up into heaven here, maybe on the back of Crashy's ultimate.
It's going to be spotted out, though, by the Prowler. You're waiting for the next layers of utility to be committed towards this. You don't take this lightly. Chronicle trying to stand guard. Going to make it hard work for them to work through this. They might have to be forced away. You can't get through here.
And will definitely slow things down on the retake. Elsewhere, jump spot from Crashy, spot out YU, so all the information playing into Fnatic's hands. Crashy's found one, he's doubled down.
Oh, it's just lovely from Crashies. Slicing through Wolves, and I liked what Chronicle was doing as well, almost forcing them into that pathing.
Plenty of options here for Fnatic, like I said, on the back of Crashy's ultimate potentially. Wolves, these early wins, but Boaster always a threat in the mid-round if there's bodies still for Fnatic. Very consistent in turning the tides in their favor. Now just 1 round behind, and Wolves Well, an ugly purchase here in round 12.
And I guess Lysol really is the one to watch, isn't he?
Juicy's here so early on, though.
That's true. And you're going to have the Viper spot on the other side of the map, so almost trying to encourage play elsewhere. Hard to disrespect it, but Juicy might be on the money. He is! And no one there to trade that. Now, obviously, they don't know it. They don't know how much freedom they had on it. Quick upgrade, yeah, lovely. Dream come true for Wolves, but can they reset?
The confirmation of a second player here with the Prowler, but Paranoia sent through. No amount to too much. Wolves, they would peel away, disengage. Showstopper and the TP here for Boaster. Damn it. Lysol actually with a quick check of a TP of his own. Wolves look as if they're confident in Reed here, and rightfully so.
Boombot gives Crashies the corner. That's enough. And now Alpha finding the next layer to this again. That purchase was going to be weak at the best of times, but Fnatic finding their way forward and finding their footing here. See if BB and Spring, difficult to try and do anything with. It looks like this one is going to be tied up all even here. Alpha timing on the smoke drop there. Oh, this is dangerous, but it's fine. Bullets to the back to bring it back to 6 apiece. Fnatic not down and not out. Wolves showing signs of life.
For sure, yeah. Fnatic, again, not familiar to playing from behind on Lotus, but able to course correct here at the end and come out even pegging here.
Yeah, this is what we wanted, though. A game between these two, a closer affair. See the best of both sides. Hopefully brought out throughout that second half coming up. But before we get there, we do have a treat with Vansili standing by with TCK10. We're going to head over there right about now.
Toronto, it is my honor to say that Cloud9 finally has international presence at a Valorant event. I'm joined by none other than TCK, content creator for Cloud9. TCK, how's it going? An honor to have you here today.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. I've been loving Toronto. I've been loving the city. I've been loving the food. I've eaten poutine 3 times already, and I love it. So yeah, it's really great to have all those beautiful audience here talking about Valorant and living it. Yeah.
I hate that you eat 3 poutines and it goes into your muscles, and me, it just goes into my gut. But I understand as well that, you know, you're a big-time streamer in Brazil. But for those that are tuning in here from Toronto and also from around the world, talk to us about your stream. What can we see when we actually watch your stream?
Okay, so crazy cosplays, maybe Viper cosplays, Reyna cosplays, and I've been also playing on Radiant. It's been a time now. Actually, I was the first guy who told Aspas to try Neon. You know, he was only playing Jet, so yeah. Time 1, Brazilian server, a lot of time.
And now you're also co-streaming with Saucy so far in the booth. How's the chat been going? Who are they going for in this game?
We're going for Fnatic. I mean, it's really nice to see them playing. We were kind of cheering for Wolves because of Still Fat Baby. They are all really good energy. But we're cheering for Fnatic. I think they're winning. But yeah, it's been a pleasure. Like, I would be a fan of Saucy, just seeing him play, and now being friends with him and talking everything about Valorant during co-stream. It's been really, really nice.
That's awesome. You just talked about Sufa Baby. He likes to show his muscles. Also, Boaster likes to show his muscles. So TCK, show me your muscles one more time as they're going to toss this back to the game.
Damn, it's just like you, Mike.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, I really like that jersey, but I'm not sure. Carrying a little holiday weight.
And just checking in on the Coinbase Econ report. I mean, it's a much more even affair from the previous match.
Yeah, closely contested, obviously. No team really able to establish themselves other than that 4-round string along the way, but again, it was back and forth, it was trades, it was coming down to, you know, 1 or 2 players left standing, so financially, necessarily that snowball effect taking hold here. I guess looking forwards now, even affair, and yes, you're 2 maps down already, but sort of at the half time, it's a much more comfortable position for Wolves to find themselves in. Not necessarily pinning all hopes and dreams to a pistol and further conversions. See really what they can do with that.
Wolves now on that attacking side. Sometimes been their strength throughout this.
And just as well, on Lotus Wolves have showed us the slowest formation of this default. Well, not Fnatic have really come away and I guess respect that enough to come up with some sort of game plan to address. Fnatic never usually wants to, I guess, push all in to the early round. We've already seen so far on Icebox and Split what they're capable of in the retake. It really is the cornerstone.
As it stands, though, one singular turret is holding the entirety of the C site, and it's doing a fantastic job. Fnatic have all the players in the right places.
I think probably seeing that poison orb invested. Juicy core!
Oh, the C's was so sick! Ah, the follow-up as well, Kayaks there! It's a shutout! The only success being YU with a bit of util.
Last player.
Oh man, this has been a complete and utter shutdown. Fnatic so prepared for this.
I saw has slipped the net. You can see still eyes trained towards B main. 7 seconds on a smoke. He's caught a sound cue here from Boaster. Ooh. But again, look at the spike. Look what he has to do. He has to overcome, even regain possession of it.
10 seconds left.
I would like the orb, please. Yeah, it's going to be a glimmer of hope, but quickly extinguished. Fnatic start strong in this second now.
But looking like he's straight on a scope here. It's rough for Juicy. You see he's got the momentum here from the satchels, but tethered.
Here.
Restricted in his movement.
This is everything. I got my
Clean
one
up though.
I'm happy. Almost.
From Fnatic, they're maintaining control of the spike. It's almost unrecoverable there, regardless of the outcome.
Can't let this tempo wane, really, though. If you're Wolves, you've got to keep up the pressure.
Oh, God. Juicy caught. Unconfirmed, but that's a 15 HP. Costly retrieval of the orb.
Ah, turret down.
Again, slow and steady. We know how Wolves like to play this. Probably the most tempered of their attacking sides. Just the classics. Not even a share.